Welcome. This is Yak Effect's 2019 Game of the Year special. I'm your host, Nate, and I'm joined here with my friend Carlos.
Hello, how are you doing, Nate?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you?
Doing pretty good, and it's what, Sunday night, kind of a weird time to be recording this.
This is Sunday, January the 5th. We're recording this. Don't know when this will go out, but we're going to do this, and then next week we're planning on recording our Games of the Decade, 2010 through 2019.
That's already so rough. Think about it. You had to try to squeeze 10 games, your favorite games, for the whole decade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the way we're doing this is that we are going to go back and forth. So we're going to do one of Carlos's games, and then one of my games, and so on. For games that we've both played, that are on both of our lists. Whenever, whoever gets that first, we'll talk about it, the both of us.
Pretty good.
All right. Oh, so the game that is at the bottom of both of our lists, you have it at number 9, right?
Yeah, because the other thing about this list is that it's the games that, like, the games on this list only include games that came out this year.
Yes.
Even though we beat more games this year.
Yes.
We only have on this list.
Yeah,
games
these are
we
games
this year.
that came out in 2019, and we beat them in that year.
Yeah.
So, you have, at number 9, you have Far Cry New Dawn. I have at number 8, Far Cry New Dawn. The reason we don't have 10 was because 2019, in my opinion, was a pretty shit year for games.
You're just always so rough with this, dude. You always like... You're like how you say with the movie critics, where they're like, like it's so hard to please.
Oh, true. I'm just saying it was a below average year, and when you have below average years, you end up with games like Far Cry New Dawn.
Hey, I can't disagree with that. I really hate this game.
Yeah.
And dude, this game sucks. And
yeah.
I'm not sure whose villains are worse. I know we're going to get into it a little bit later when we talk about the other game.
Yeah.
But between either Far Cry New Dawn or Borderlands 3, because both feel almost like the same thing, like carbon copies.
Yeah.
And I hate them for both for the same reasons.
Yeah. So Far Cry New Dawn has two of the shittiest video game villains I've had in recent memories, aside from Borderlands 3. The game is really just completely boring. And I feel like the only good or interesting thing that they added in this game was a saw blade. It was a cool weapon, but that's not enough to save this train wreck of a game. With just awful microtransactions and stuff.
Yeah, because I told you at the time, I remember when we had the discussion when we first played the game.
Yeah.
I didn't understand why this was an expansion, and why couldn't this have just been, or why was this a whole new game, and why couldn't have this been just like a DLC thing?
Yeah.
And you might say well, isn't it kind of the same thing? Because if I remember correctly, it was only $40, but you know what? It was $40 too fucking much.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It was 30 or 40. Yeah, I can't remember.
30
exactly.
or 40. And I'm just this could have been some $10, $15 thing that maybe get added on. It's a couple of missions, but a lot of the plot points, I just couldn't really care about, if I remember correctly. None of the villains sucked. I didn't, even if you saw recurring characters from the previous game, it still didn't feel like it mattered much, because if we're correct, we're a new character now. It's a new new.
Yeah. So Far Cry New Dawn was a continuation of Far Cry 5. I don't remember how long later.
Yeah, there was
5 or so
a
years
certain
later.
amount of time.
No, it was actually way longer, because Far Cry New Dawn is 20 years later. Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Yeah.
And you don't play as a deputy. You play as this new character. I forgot what you're called. And it doesn't have any of that freedom of exploration or any of that interesting spirit that Far Cry 5 has. It really is just them trying to make some more money. And it's just I can respect that, people got to eat and all, but but at least, come up with something slightly interesting.
Yeah, I agree. In the sense that,
did you ever do any of the expeditions in the game?
what was that?
The thing where you got in the helicopter and they took you to a different location, you did the mission?
Yeah, I think I did
I did a couple, and those were slightly interesting, because there's one you go to a sunken helicarrier and stuff.
Yeah, so and then you have to go to the middle,
yeah,
something
you have to
go really
get
down,
a package and then take it back to the helicopter.
You have to escape
and
all
I'm
the way
just
back.
the game could have been more like this, where we're seeing like more of the world that's been affected. Because at the end of Far Cry 5, like a nuclear war starts, and it would have been more interesting to see like what happened to the world in this Far Cry world.
Yeah, but I guess in their eyes, they feel like that still was what we got though. Like that was the repercussions of like the world and what happened. But I don't know, like, and then like you learn about the character you play as in 5, like, right? That he's actually
So the
confirmed or rumored or what?
No, it's confirmed.
Confirmed, right?
So the character that you play in 5 at the end of the game, you get locked into a bunker with Joseph Seed. In A New Dawn, you basically learn that your character believes that the whole like apocalypse and everything was his fault. So he goes like insane down there and decides to serve Joseph Seed because he thinks that he or she thinks that Joseph Seed was right the whole time, and becomes the judge, a companion character that you can get New Dawn. And I think that was like kind of like the only part of the game that I was like, this is kind of interesting.
Yes, that was the only thing. Yeah.
It's the Boruto to Naruto effect.
Yeah,
it's like anytime you're watching Boruto and they have like old stuff, it reminds you. It makes you think of happier times.
Yeah, no, I get you. With that. And don't make me cry.
But yeah, and then let's wrap this up just talking briefly about those horrible villains in Far Cry New Dawn.
I can't even remember them. They were twins, right? It was like these two girls that
they're like heads. Like, so basically, their whole thing was that they wanted to come in and take all the resources in this valley in Hope County, and that was it. You don't really get to explore them. Towards like the very end of the game, you get like some flashback cutscenes where they're leaving their mom and going with their dad, and it's like our dad taught us to take what we want. And I'm just like, I don't care. This is like, I have like 2 hours left in this game.
That's the other thing. You saying that 2 hours left, like, I think it's like a 15-hour-ish game. Like if you kind of go through the campaign and whatnot. And you get that like that flashback or that cutscene, like with 2 hours like left to go, like 13 hours in, and you're supposed to try to convince me now to care about these people after like each like step of the way in the game, like they just like, we're here to take your resources. Who gives a shit? Like you're just annoying. You're like, it's like the classic like, you're like a villain just for the sake of being a villain with no real motive. It's just like, I'm bad because I'm bad. It's like, who cares?
Yeah, that's the feeling they gave off the entire game. And like by the end of the game, you're not like convinced. They don't have like some kind of like, they don't do anything to like make you think more deeply about their villain or their aspirations or what they're doing.
Yeah.
So from a story perspective, the game's like a failure in my opinion. And then from a gameplay perspective, they don't do anything new. All they have is like these dumb strongholds. And you do them once, and say, "Hey, do them more for more money and resources."
Oh my god!
But like they're going to be harder this time.
Yeah.
But if you don't want to do it, you can give us actual real life money to get resources to make better weapons that aren't crap.
Yeah.
Because in New Dawn, they made the enemies have levels, and so if you're like, if you're trying to go against like a level like a level 3 or 4 enemy with like a level 1 gun, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
You're just going to get so like, I think I had like 1 or maybe 2 level 4 guns by the end of the game. And I was just like, this sucks, because like I'm fighting against the final boss, and I can feel how underpowered I am because I didn't spend more money. Yeah.
Oh god.
But anyway, let's talk about. Let's see. So, what did you have at number 8?
So for me personally, I had Rage 2. That was like the next game on my list, and I would say, in comparison from like new Far Cry to Rage 2, like I like Rage 2.
Yeah.
I do not like Far Cry New Dawn. I
like,
think this is the only game on the list that it's like on there because I beat it this year. But like, I do not like that game. I think that game sucks in my opinion. Rage 2 I think is like a you know what they always say, like a Swimming in 7, like a solid game.
Yeah. So like Rage 2, the story is also dumb, but not in an annoying way. You just kind of like, at the beginning, you recognize that the game is going to be dumb, accept it, and go forward.
Yes, yeah.
But the gameplay is fun.
Yes.
Like, I think actually, like, fighting against enemies is fun. But, like, I think you have too many abilities and, like, powers in the game where, like, it's so easy to kill everything.
Yeah, and then, in a way, like, if I remember correctly at the time, because you played it a little bit.
I played it maybe about 5 hours before.
There was, like, so many upgrades. Like this would upgrade. Like you needed these materials to upgrade this.
Oh yeah,
these
right.
materials upgraded this, and these materials upgraded this.
Yeah, there was like 3 separate upgrade trees.
Yeah,
and you needed different resources for each one.
So like, you in one way, like yes, that's kind of cool where there's a lot of like variety and there's like different ways to like if you want to upgrade the stuff in this thing and then you'll have the materials for that, and if you want this and this, like
yeah,
so on and so forth. But I don't know, it still felt somehow a little overwhelming. Like there was too much stuff.
Yeah,
and you didn't even get to like explore like the basic things that you have. It felt like, and to your point about the story, I just remember
it's like the most bless you.
Thank you.
It's like one of the most it's probably the most dude bro-ish game I've played in a long time. It made me feel Duke Nukem-ish.
Yeah.
Like it's like you get like the power suit or whatever at the beginning of the game, and it's like, whoa, you're awesome. Like, go kill stuff, bro.
Yeah.
That's the vibe. That's the vibe that the game gives you.
Yeah, I agree. And like, story wise, I remember because in preparation for Rage 2, I played the first game.
Yeah.
And the first game definitely leaves you on like a giant like cliffhanger where like I don't really remember how it went. Like shit was going down and like
like you took down like the organization.
The organization or whatever, and then like I forgot. It's been a while, so I apologize. But like you activated something, and then it just didn't. Like it just like stopped, and it was a game over, and like credits roll. I was like, wait, what? Yeah. Like what happened? It's like Rage 2 coming soon or whatever. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah.
And so playing Rage 2 did give me that, I don't know, like Crisis, I guess, kind of vibes in a way. Yeah. Crisis, COD, Fusion, whatever.
Like I had fun playing Rage 2. It's just like killing people in Rage 2 is fun. I almost like never see this in any game. Like when they're sending waves of enemies, I could have done in a lot of situations with another 2 or 3 waves of enemies.
Yeah, I remember when I first watched you play the game, and you're like, you had already demolished everybody into place. And you're like, oh, it's over already. Yeah. And I was like, really? That's it?
You would drive up to a place. There'd probably be about like 10 or 15 enemies. You kill them. Like the game is very fast paced, like Doom. So you kill everybody in about a minute or two, and then you're just stuck looking around a location for like resources or like materials and stuff, which sucks because there's like no like. Unless you get like way down like on the skill tree, there's no like Witcher sense or like detective mode.
Yes,
because you have to look for the crates, those purple crates that have the crystals or whatever, and it's hard to find them because this game loves its purple because it's trying to go for that punkish, punk rock vibe. Yeah. So it's just like you're looking for purple crates in the room where everything is purple and you can't find it.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, that shit was annoying, and like, I do remember that. As I went along, I did get an upgrade for it. Like I could like finally see. I'm like, oh okay, finally.
That should be like an upgrade that's available to you from the beginning of the game.
You know what? That was I think something that we also mentioned that certain upgrades that were like, you had to spend money and get there should have already probably been like something already like in the beginning of the game that you had like an ability or whatever that you didn't need to make it that be a skill tree thing. It's like I need to get 5 layers deep into the skill tree to get this one thing. It's like, this would have been useful already right off the bat.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know. I still, even though we say all this, I still think the game is fun. Like it just genuinely is fun to play. Yeah. And so I did go through it, but I will say like the story is not. I don't really remember.
Yeah, it's a fun game if you want something that's like low stress and you can just kill some stuff.
In a way, like if you just want to, I know sometimes we kind of call them like podcast games. Or something, if you have like a podcast or something and you don't really care about the story, you just kind of want something to do while you're like listening and you just want to kind of play through something and feel good about it. Yeah. You could kind of use Rage 2 in a sense of like a podcast game.
Yeah. Because it's super hard to get killed in Rage 2 unless you're playing on hard or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alrighty then. So moving on to number 7, which I think we both had as Borderlands 3, right?
Yes. Actually, yes.
Yeah. So Borderlands 3 is an infuriating game in a lot of aspects. I can't imagine playing this game by myself. I can't imagine somebody having like the mental fortitude to be able to do that and stay sane. Luckily, I played it with you and another one of our friends, and because similar to the last 2 games we just talked about, this game's story is abominable. Like, the writing is terrible. Like, they went from Handsome Jack to Troy and Tyree, and I'm like, this is but awful.
I just feel like, though, like... Wait, what were their names again?
Troy and Tyree.
Oh my, I don't
or Tyreen.
Tyreen. I don't even want to remember them.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know who was worse, though. Like, in a way, I feel like
them or the Far Cry villains?
The Far Cry villains, the twins, because I think it's because I had higher expectations
of Borderlands 3?
For Borderlands 3. Because when we saw Far Cry New Dawn, we were kind of like, this looks kind of suspect.
I think when the game got announced, I was excited.
Yeah, maybe.
A lot of people were negative on it. It wasn't until I got to play that game that I was disappointed.
I think I was already a little suspect on it.
Yeah.
But Borderlands, on the other hand, we were like watching the trailers and everything. We're like, oh, this game looks great. Blah blah blah. It's gonna be fun. And the truth is, like, in a way, I don't know if this was my most disappointing game of the year. Because there's another game that's also on the list
that
we'll get there. But in a way, this game was still more infuriating.
Yeah.
To be honest.
So for me, like, I wasn't disappointed with this game. I was more annoyed by a lot of the time. Because Borderlands is a game that I've never, like... It's not like a super high franchise for me or anything.
Sure.
But it is fun. It is fun to play with friends.
Mm-hmm.
I think being frustrated is the state of the game I had with 75% of as we were playing through the game. Because so the story is terrible. So, like, you're already just like, well, I can't get attached to the world of the characters because this is abominable. And then, all right, so we're gonna talk for a split second about how much stuff you pick up.
Oh my god. Okay, so you speaking on that,
the drop rate of stuff in this game is too high. Because in the previous Borderlands games, maybe like 1 out of every 4 enemies would drop like a gun, right?
Yeah,
that sounds about right.
Sounds about right. Okay, I know somebody might correct us. We're kind of spitting out numbers like off the cuff, like we feel, like estimating guess, like we feel.
In Borderlands 3, it feels like every single enemy drops a gun, and not only that, 2 or 3 guns. That's what it feels like as you're playing through it. And then anytime you try to open up a chest just to get some more ammo, there's like 2 more things that you have to pick up.
Yep. And
so it gets annoying because in Borderlands 3, or in Borderlands in general, you have to upgrade your backpack. You have to buy storage deck upgrades.
Ammo upgrades,
and ammo upgrades and bank upgrades, and those cost money in the game. At least in this one. In previous games, they costed Iridium. And so now, like, all of those cost money. And so now you're just trying to save up as much money as you can to buy upgrades, especially storage deck upgrades, which are super expensive. Because I think probably, like, just for example, like the second to last one is like 2 point... No, I think the very last one for storage deck upgrades
2.3.
Is 2.3 million.
Oh my god.
And that's not counting all the money you had to spend on all the previous storage deck upgrades. So you're probably looking to spend somewhere in the range of like 5 million just to upgrade your backpack.
Yeah.
And so you have to pick up as many guns as you can to go back to the vendors to sell them, so that way you can upgrade your stuff. And then you go back to where you were on your quest, and then enemies have like respawned, and then like before, like maybe about 5 minutes later, your backpack is full again. So you have to go back and sell more stuff. Because if you're just leaving stuff on the ground, you're missing out on stuff.
You're missing out on so much money.
Yeah. And since Iridium, now you can just use it to buy upgrades from Crazy Earl. Well, not upgrades, buy weapons or like costumes from him. And I'm like, unless you really care about those costumes, the weapons that he has in there suck, because you have probably better odds of just finding some random white or green gun that is better than any of those purples and stuff that he sells.
Yeah, because, and I don't know, I feel like either if they were gonna make that change from the iridium being the thing that you use to upgrade things, or like the money, they needed to add more vendors for it to be selling money, because now you feel like you're obligated to like, because like before in Borderlands, even if your backpack was full, you didn't feel like, well, I'm getting iridium to upgrade my stuff, so I don't really care about, like, I'll only care about having the best weapons in my backpack.
Yes,
the guns can just stay there. I don't really need the money, or like I'm sure you use money for other things, but it didn't matter that much. You're gonna make money somehow.
Yeah.
In this game, it's like, well, since the money's the important thing to go and make the upgrade, well, I feel like I'm like, dude, we would go back and sell things like 5-10 times.
Yeah.
And the sad part was, like, it still felt like we weren't even making a dent to trying to, excuse me, to get the next upgrade.
Yes.
And like, it just got frustrating too. And then remember, the nice thing that they did in Borderlands is that when it came to like selling stuff, you could mark the junk. But then on the PS4 version, the version that we played it on,
like for about a month or so, they had a bug after one of the patches where you couldn't mark stuff as junk anymore. So every time we had to go back and sell stuff, we would have to look through one by one each gun to make sure we weren't accidentally selling something that was better than what we had. And Borderlands 3 has a lot of different stats and qualifiers on each one of its guns. And so you have to, like, we would, like, be maybe 5 minutes into a quest, our backpack would end up being full, then we'd have to go back and spend about 15 minutes standing in front of the vending machine, looking at guns, then sell that stuff, then go back, and then some of the enemies have respawned. And so this would keep on going and going until eventually we made a dent and finished the quest.
Yeah, eventually at some point, there was, like, either they didn't respawn or something, or we just totally said, fuck it, we're just gonna go and do the, the quest. And that's the other thing, we're still talking about, like, getting loot and getting guns.
Yeah.
One of the complaints I still feel like I have with Borderlands is how, like, the stats are shown.
On weapons?
On weapons.
Yeah. Because it's confusing, because sometimes it'll, like, for instance, like a shotgun, it'll be, like, 19 times 10 for the damage, which is 190 damage.
Yeah.
But then, like, on the like the abilities of the gun, it'll say plus 40% weapon damage.
Like the description thing.
Yeah, so you don't know if that actually affects the damage of the gun. Like, is that included in the 190 damage, or is that after the fact? And you never really, there's a lot of stuff like that when it comes to weapons.
And maybe there's a clear-cut answer, but the problem is, like, then when you test out the gun and you, like, look and you're like, this feels like it's doing way more damage than the thing that says it's supposed to do more damage.
Yeah.
And that's just still kind of really annoying when you're just trying to, like, think about it. You're going to spend like 15 to 20 minutes on the menus just trying to see which one are the quote-unquote better stat guns.
Yeah.
And then you're going to have to try to find enemies to test out the guns and see if they're better.
Yeah.
And then, like, you're finally like, well, okay, you know what? This one actually wasn't that good.
Yeah.
So then you're going to go mark through all this stuff and then finally go back and sell it. And, oh, my God, the process just kept, cycling itself over and over again, and it just felt never ending. And I don't know how much time we put in that game, but to be honest, it felt like more than half the fucking hours we played in that game. Where it's like us being in the menus and we're gonna go sell this shit and try to make money for the stupid backpack upgrades.
But not to just completely dog on the game, there are parts of the game I like. I think So Borderlands has never been, like, super great about vehicle handling, like driving around. I think driving around the vehicles in the Borderlands 3 is a lot of fun.
Yeah, I would say you're in our group. You're gonna be the one who knows the most.
Yeah,
you're always the driver. You're usually always the driver, and then we'll give him shit if he crash or anything. Come on, driver, quit drunk driving.
Yeah, like the vehicle handling in this game is a lot better compared to all the other Borderlands games. I think the skill trees and abilities were really pretty cool.
Yeah, I think they were fine. I guess it more depends on, obviously, like
which character you're
using.
As Siren, I like them a lot.
Yeah, what was my character guy?
The operative.
The operative. I kept on calling him Star-Lord because remember I chose that skin. That the little mask. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he was fine. It felt like kind of like a traditional.
Yeah, you picked the weakest class.
The weakest class. Yeah. And it's like, cryo damage. All right, whatever. Throw this little like drone thing that like freeze or whatever. I was like, okay, it's not bad. I still had fun.
Yeah.
Because one thing is, we're talking about shooting and stuff. The game does feel like a lot smoother.
Yeah, like the way weapons shoot feels really good. The only I guess the complaint that you could say about that is that everything's too much like a laser beam. There's like most guns have no recoil.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's
I mean,
not
like,
that. You know
yeah.
what it is? It's more that like sometimes the guns feel a little too similar.
Yes.
Like everything feels like butter, which is a good thing,
Yeah.
but at the same time, it's like my SMG feels almost exactly like my assault rifle, and my assault rifle feels exactly like my, whatever.
Like, Borderlands always does a thing where there's like a gajillion guns.
Yeah.
In this one, I felt like the variety between weapons is like the weakest it's ever been in the series, personally.
Yeah.
I will. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say because I remember off air you mentioned like there was guns like in Borderlands 2 where we immediately think of like the spread shot like pistols that would like shoot like everywhere. I don't know, like if it did feel like they were a little bit at least more creative.
Yes.
In Borderlands 2 specifically.
Yeah, Borderlands 3 I feel like most of the guns I have equipped are just like the same gun that I've already had before, just higher damage. Like there's like not like a huge difference in between the weapons. But I will say I really found fighting against a lot of the bosses. I think the bosses in this game are pretty cool.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
That one Guardian boss that keeps on like lifting up the platform. And like you could fall off and stuff.
Yeah.
I think that was a really cool boss.
And
so
then
I really enjoyed that.
No, and then there is it the same like the one where he would like remember like there was one where they would flip you over, you would start falling and you would have to like get
in the hole?
Yeah, you had to get in the hole or my dumb ass, like, so, when we were fighting, I would just keep jumping.
That's what me and you were doing.
Yeah,
I think
we were
Cesar
just jumping. Cesar would go inside, one of our friends would go inside the hole, I think like you're supposed to, at the top. We would, like, never pay attention
to
I just
kept on jumping up
we would,
against
like,
the rock.
As hard as we could.
Yeah. Because I didn't even know that the hole was there until like I think it was probably like the third time I died on that boss fight. I was like, oh, there's a hole you can jump into.
Dude, I survived like all the fucking time when it came to. I don't know why, but I would just like if you like mash X like jump.
Yeah.
So.
All right. So moving on, my number 6 was The Outer Worlds, which a game I was initially super hot on, but I kind of faded from me over time. But I still really enjoy the game. I think the game has a lot of like great things about it.
I mean, it is the only Fallout-esque game that you like.
Well, yeah, it's the only good one. Yeah, I mean, like, so like I've always been kind of interested. Like, I've always liked the premise of like Fallout and Elder Scrolls. My problem is that the fact that these games are busted and broken and just completely ugly, and everybody just laps that shit up, and I don't understand it. So The Outer Worlds is not the most beautiful game. Like the loading screens can be pretty long sometimes, but the game is like fun. It has better combat than any Fallout game, and it actually works. I think the game crashed on me once in the entirety of like 30 hours, which is like,
pretty good.
I think it's pretty impressive considering Fallout can crash on you about 5 times in the span of 5 minutes.
Yeah, now I will say I'm not saying you're wrong, but where I'm different from like a lot of other Fallout people is that I play the games like. By the time the Game of the Year edition came out, and there were like 40 million...
play years after the fact. So
like, years after the fact.
It has patches and stuff.
Yeah.
But even with those patches, I feel like those games are still always like fucked up, sort of.
I guess like when I played them, I didn't have an issue or anything. Nothing that I can like remember. That I was like, oh my god, this thing is. Yeah. I remember like when you played Fallout 4, you had a bug thing, right? The kind of,
like I was like 20 hours in the game, and then the game just. Like, it was fine up to that point. I had, like, a couple of crashes, but nothing notable. And then, like, after, like, the 20-hour mark, is that the game, like, let it loose on me. And I was just, like, crashed, like, maybe, like, 3 times in an hour. Super, like, frame rate chugging and stuff like that. And I was just like, I'm out of here. I'll go play something better. So, but The Outer Worlds, I think it's, like, a really interesting concept. Like a colony that's, like, in another solar system away from Earth, and you're just like somebody that's been in cryostasis for years, and you wake up and you experience this colony and how like indoctrinated people are into thinking that like the companies that like own the system are like their god, and like it's a very interesting game. It's very like it's a lot of like social commentary and whatnot, but I don't think it ever gets to the point where it's like overly political, like it beats you over the head with it.
Sure.
And the worlds and the characters are like the highlight of the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like every quest that you go on, even if it may seem super fetch questy at first, there will like you can expect that there will be depth or interest in intrigue in what's going to happen with that quest. Like a seemingly like a quest that you have for one like one of your party members, Parvati, she wants you to go help her get like stuff for a date with a woman that she's interested in, and so you have to go to like different planets, and then like another point. At one point after you've gotten her a few things, she's like, "Oh, I thought of something else we should get her," and so in my character, I told I persuade her. It's like, you're ready for the date. Don't be too nervous about it. And then like you have like this really sweet moment of like those two characters getting together, and which I really liked because it's like there aren't that many games that do romance well, so it is a pleasure to me when I find one that I do, think it accomplishes it well. But I do have complaints about the game. I feel like if you do what I did and you just go way into dialogue, the game becomes a cakewalk because you can talk or threaten yourself, out of every single situation almost. Like I didn't have a final boss fight because I told the boss that I was just gonna kill her and threaten her. And
wait, really?
Yeah, I didn't have a final boss fight. Like I got to the place, stealthed and talked my way up, and I was like talking to her like what was her name, like Adjutant or Admiral Akala or something like that, and I just dialogued my way through the situation, which some people would say is just like, oh, that's just how you built your character. If you wanted to fight the boss, you should have. But I'm just like,
okay, it's a fair okay.
But I was like, I feel like the dialogue system, it got to the point where like, since I had put the time into it, it was just like it's so OP because the dialogue branch, like those options will get you the best outcome in every situation. There's almost like no negative there's
no consequences.
There's no consequences. Like I had one quest where I agreed to help a woman. Went did the thing for her. Came back because she didn't want to give me something because like I needed it for a quest. So I went back there, helped her out, then said, "Hey, give me the thing." And she's like, "I don't want to give you that thing." So I used persuasion. She gave me the thing. Then I asked her to pay me that for the thing that I did for her, and she gave me that. And then I asked her to pay me more, and she did. So basically,
so you forced her to do the thing that she didn't want to do originally.
Yes.
Then you paid for the job, and then you made her pay more for the job.
Yes.
Damn.
So it's just and since I had persuasion and all this other stuff, like I ended up with like thousands and thousands of bullets. I never ran out of ammo. I never had to buy anything. I had so many credits. Like I felt like I was like in God mode in this game. So I guess that is my one complaint. Like you can very easily make yourself overpowered in this game. When you get to the planet Monarch, I think that's where the game starts getting a little bit slow. But the opening hours of the game, like in Edgewater and Groundbreaker, are like some of like the most like interesting character moments I've had in games in a while. But then everything after that, like as you get more into the main plot, it's like you start to like slow down. I was like losing interest in the game as I was playing it. And combat scenarios, I got to the point, even though I was mainly focusing on persuasion and stuff, like once you get to a certain level and if you get like your weapons upgrades like a decent amount, you can just steamroll through every enemy in the game. Like even if you went like to a higher difficulty, that difficulty only increases stuff like, oh, you need to drink water or you need to eat food. It doesn't really necessarily increase the difficulties of like how hard the enemies hit or anything like that. At least I don't think so. I kind of wish that there were boss fights in the game because I got so tired of killing the same enemy over and over again.
I was gonna say like were there there weren't any even quote unquote bigger enemies in the wild. You know how they're Fallout. What do you call them?
Like Death Claws.
Death Claws, like something like that. At
so
least.
They have like Manta Queens, right? Which are like they're like Mantisaurs, which are kind of like these like bug, like think like big like sort of like praying mantises, right?
Sure.
But then there's like a Manta Queen, which is like a super big praying mantis, and it can like shoot out like these like swarms of like Mantisaur like flies at you that do damage. I mean, like, those things were, like, slightly intimidating at first. Like, after a few hours, I was killing them, like, left and right. It's like, nothing in this game is a challenge, enemy-wise. Even if I had fought that final boss, I probably would have killed it in about 5 minutes.
But okay, so then what do you think would fix it in the sense like add more health? Like is it like how the AI approaches you? I mean, because like you okay, so like, let's say like you feel overpowered already.
Yeah.
And like, do you think like the gunplay and like all that is smooth and like?
It's not like amazing, but I think it is smooth for this type of game.
Okay. So then, like, what do you think like they should have done with?
I think
the enemies like.
I kind of wish that there was more like interesting
variety?
combat scenarios because
Okay.
even when you're fighting against like human enemies, all the human enemies will act like in the same way. Like a bandit will fight the exact same way as like a corporation soldier. So like, but which doesn't make sense because like you think like a bandit, they have like scrounge around for like equipment.
Yeah,
and stuff.
they'll just however they can.
But then like a corporation soldier will have basically the same stuff. So it's like I don't know. Like it's a goofy sci-fi futuristic world. It would have been kind of cool if there was like corporate ninjas or something, you know.
Just to make it a little diverse.
So I think Outer Worlds is a really cool game that I think people should play just for like, you know, really interesting story moments and character moments.
Mm-hmm.
But like I think there's definitely room for improvement. So I'll be happy whenever like Obsidian comes out with the next one. Definitely be around to try it.
Even though the Obsidian, they're actually what are they making? They're making that like Meet the Robinsons looking kind of game, isn't it?
Oh, the Grounded?
Right?
Yeah.
Isn't that what
yeah, okay. That's like a side project for him, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But is there like a confirmation that they're working on the next thing, or we're just
they're I mean, they didn't like there hasn't been like a press release, but they've basically said that they are making it. They are going to make a second one. I think they're planning on doing DLC for Outer Worlds, like the first game, before that though.
Oh.
So whenever Outer Worlds 2 does come out, it'll probably be years away.
Okay.
Probably like 3 or so years. I expect it to be a next gen game.
So that what do you call that game? The little side thing. It is a side thing. It is
Grounded.
Yeah.
That's what the game's called. Like in that game, you're a kid that's like shrunk down to like the size of like an ant, basically. And you're trying to survive in like this backyard.
Okay.
Yeah.
But like, and you're sure that's like a side game thing that they said, or is that what they or is that their next game?
I mean, I'm assuming that since Microsoft bought Obsidian, they probably got an increase in personnel. So I'm assuming they can probably handle working on 2 projects at the same time.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. Gotcha.
So, let's see. What was your number 6?
Yeah, my number 6 on this list was Astral Chain. And,
Trash game.
Not a trash game. It felt like another Swimming in 7 game. Like, I didn't feel like it was amazing.
You see why this was a crappy year for games, Carlos?
Maybe you got a point, Nate. Maybe you got a point.
I don't know. Every single game we has so it's a good game, but it has a bunch of qualifiers.
It has a bunch of that's fair. I don't know, but I do think it was a solid game.
Yeah.
It's just that
crappy camera.
Dude, it does. Like the camera can get a little crazy because
controlling your character in the Legion, it's so hard. The camera's just like lost in the middle.
It's just that sometimes. Okay, so when talking about the combat of the game, there's a lot of. It depends on like. If you're in, like, the city... This is what I kind of felt like. If you're in the city, usually, that's when I felt like the camera got a little wonky.
Yeah.
Because the places were a lot more tight.
Yeah.
You're just, like, in these walls or whatever, locations. So, shit can be going down, and you're, like, sending your Legion, and you're doing all this stuff. And then all of a sudden, the camera goes wonky, and you're just like, I don't know what the hell is happening.
Yeah, the camera's, like, stuck in the corner next to 2 buildings.
Exactly. Next to a trash can or something.
Yeah.
Shit. In comparison to, like... When you go to the other world, like the astral, what did they call it? I forgot.
The astral plane?
The astral plane, yeah, exactly. When you go to that world...
That place is ugly, though.
It kind of reminds me of how you complain about the DMC5 thing.
Oh, okay.
But,
Yeah.
And I kind of... because of the aesthetic of the game, I don't think it bothers me as much, but I definitely get it, because... You do get tired of seeing the same thing over and over again. Like you're gonna go there and the plane looks the same, but at least in those areas for the most part it was like big and wide open.
Yeah.
So you could like you'd be able to control the camera better in comparison to like when you were in like the city like areas and you were like crowded and you just couldn't fucking see shit.
Yeah.
So and then keep going on with the combat. The 5 legions. Let me see if I can remember. We had the bow. There's like the normal swordsman.
The great swordsman.
The great swordsman.
The wolf. The dog.
Yeah, the dog kind of thing, and
it was like the gauntlet one, right? The big one.
The gauntlet. Okay.
Yeah.
Switching from those, like, it was a little weird to upgrade because. So you have to while you're like doing combat and stuff, you gain points and whatnot to upgrade to your legion. But one of the problems this feels like in the game is it felt like you didn't really want to like distribute the points across the legions. Like you just kind of wanted to dump them all into that legion and
just into one legion.
Yeah, because you didn't get enough points.
Oh, okay.
So like, if you like use a couple of points for this one and then this one, it felt like they weren't really getting any stronger.
Yeah.
Like, you needed to dump them all into one. So I dumped them all into, like, the swords one.
The basic sword one?
The basic swords one.
Yeah.
And so, if I wasn't using him, I felt like I wasn't doing any damage. Like, I had to be using that swords one. But, so, like, I felt like that was something they kind of needed to fix, where you could kind of somewhat, like, evenly distribute, like, points.
I guess they expect you to, like, because I know you can redo missions. I guess they expect you to just, like, redo missions to get more points.
Yeah, maybe it does give you a reason to kind of keep replaying the game. But I was, like, because as I was playing, I was trying to do all the side quests. Because, they're split into two cases. Like, there's, like, the red cases and the blue cases. And I was trying to do all of them. And, like, anything that popped up on my screen, I was going to do it. And I pretty much did, like, almost everything, all the cases. And the cases themselves... Like, that's not that the story is pretty much like, go and get me this thing, okay, I'm going to go back and give it to them. So
super fetch questy.
Yeah, super fetch questy, not that really interesting. The characters you play as, like, this brother and a sister.
You play as one of two twins.
One of two twins. I was like, man, what's up with the twins now? When I think about it.
This is the year of shitty twins in games.
Yeah, I guess so. Because the twins... It's the classic, like, oh my god, you know what? This is something that fucking pissed me off. So your character doesn't talk the whole fucking game.
Yeah, but your sibling does.
Your sibling does, which is, okay, whatever.
And your sibling is always going to be the angsty, jealous one.
Yeah, jealous one. And it's like, it just, like, so fucking obvious.
Yeah.
They're like, oh no, the other people lost their... Because, like, that's the other thing, is how you got the legions. Yeah. Is that originally there was, like, 5 people that each had a legion. Yeah. But everyone, like, lost their legions because, stuff in the story.
Except for you, because you're the main character.
Except for you, because you're the fucking main character. You get them all, and now, like, your sister or brother, whoever you decide to choose, is like, I feel useless, blah, 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 and just fucking starts...
If I was you, I would have saved Dad.
Yes! Oh my god, he always hitting you with that line. If I was you, I would have saved Dad. Oh, dude, shut the fuck up, I don't care.
Yeah.
And, like, it just... No, what was frustrating, though, okay, I'm not even sure if this is, like, a spoiler. Like, you go...
Don't worry about it, we've spoiled a bunch of stuff.
That's true, fair enough. We go to, like, when you beat the game, all of a sudden, your fucking character starts talking, and I'm like, why? Why do they do this?
The character you play speaks at the end of the game?
Yeah, they speak at the end of the game. They do, like, some monologue, or, yeah, you would call it.
Or, monologue,
no,
yeah.
Yeah.
They're talking to themselves?
They just, like, talk, yeah.
It's monologue, yeah.
Yeah, they're talking to themselves. And
like it was something like after the incident, blah blah blah.
Yeah, after the incident.
Really? Wow, yeah. I didn't know that. Okay.
And I remember, and I just thought, like, when I heard it, I'm just like, and you know me, I don't. It's very rare that the silent protagonist really works. Like, why? Like the silent protagonist only works when everybody else is silent. Like, if everyone else is talking, has lines and voices, and you're the only one who doesn't...
When you say silent, you mean in terms of voice acting?
Yes, like in that sense.
So, like, in terms of, like Pokemon, it works.
Yes, Pokemon works because, no one else is talking. Yeah. Like, it doesn't feel awkward.
Yeah.
But if person's talking, and then your person doesn't say anything, just, like, stares at you, and then it's like, yes, I understand. No, you fucking didn't. Like, you're just staring at each other, and it's like, oh, I knew what you were thinking. It's like, all right, whatever.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, just to hear them talk at the end, I was just like, why? Why couldn't you just fucking talk and, like, have normal conversations? Because it's, like, the classic silent protagonist thing where it felt like... Some moments could have felt a little bit better if he could, like, say something or, like, she's, like, I don't know, crying over, the dad and whatnot, and he's just, like, standing there. Yes, I'm tough. I am feeling, emotions right now. Like,
how's the music in the game? Because Platinum usually, has pretty decent soundtracks for the games. Like, I don't remember, like, from the bit I played it, I thought the music was alright. I didn't think it was that great.
No, I think I remember, liking the music. I think it was fine. Okay. It was solid. I guess, like, I'm not sure. Like, I haven't since I finished the game, I haven't been like, man, I need to go listen to Astral Chain. So
Yeah.
maybe that might be an indictment. I don't know, but I don't think that necessarily. Like, I remember at the time while I was playing it, I thought the music was, no solid.
Okay.
And to go on back to the combat real quick, switching from the legions, while I was saying like this, like the stats part of it,
yeah,
felt kind of like I wish that you could get more points, whatnot. Like, I guess you could say XP to go to the legions. Like switching from the legions is fine, and like controlling them, like obviously the bow one could shoot like arrows and shoot like beams or whatever. The swordsman, I don't remember what his special thing was. Now that I think about it. Oh, he can do the cut thing.
Yeah.
Which was, that power was kind of awkward, like, because sometimes you would have to fight enemies where like the enemy's moving, you would have to line it up.
Yeah.
To do a slice. That shit was kind of annoying.
So, is it worse than how it felt in Metal Gear Revengeance? Because it's kind of a similar ish mechanic.
But in Metal Gear Revengeance, if like they did like a slow mo thing though, right? Didn't they?
Yes.
So like that worked out fine. In this, like sometimes you're in the heat of battle, and like shit's like moving fast, and you're just trying
to slice through projectiles and stuff too, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that shit was kind of got annoying.
Yeah.
Like when you had to fight enemies that were like that. Riding the dog was at
really?
best. I didn't think it was that great. And then like the final boss fucking needs you to be able to ride that damn dog, and that shit got real.
Because it's like shooting like lasers at you and stuff, right? Bless you.
Thank you. Yeah, he's shooting lasers, and he does like this. The final boss is fucking cheap as shit. They have like this stupid like one shot kill move.
Yeah.
That like no matter how much health you got, boom, insta kill.
Yeah.
Oh, and that's the other thing. Okay, so like a lot of these like Platinum, like Devil May Cry, like these action kind of games.
Yes.
There's like a rating system. What's kind of weird is like you got really rewarded for, which is weird. You got rewarded for using items, and as long as you did like a bunch of different moves, then you were fine.
Yeah.
Like, you almost kind of wanted to take damage, so you used items.
Yeah.
Because you got more points for using items. And, like, if you, like, destroyed a thing really quickly, then it'd be, like, D rank. It's like, wait, what? But I didn't take any damage and destroyed this thing. It's like, now you got a D. And then, like, there's this thing, like, I struggled. I used, like, 15 items, and, I'm fucking sweating over here.
Yeah.
S rank. It's like, oh, okay.
That's been one of like my kind of critiques with DMC and Bayonetta. It's like I can kill this enemy in like 3 hits just using a standard combo and get like a D rank for like for killing it, right? But then if I use 10 weaker moves and I get an S rank on killing the enemy, I'm like, well, that's not really more efficient. If I'm like spending longer to kill like one enemy, it's like you would think that like whatever kills enemies fastest would get you the highest ranking and reward. That's how I see it. But it doesn't usually work out like that in those games.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think that...
Because I feel like in DMC and Bayonetta, you just like, I need to like juggle this enemy up in the air, do a combo, pull myself towards them, then shoot them in the air, then throw them back down, triple S rank. And it's like, this thing was already dead about 10 seconds ago.
Yeah, I think at least in the newest DMC, I don't feel like it was that bad. I think you mentioned like it was a lot easier to get an S rank in comparison to before. But I get what you're saying. Let's see. Characters. None of the other characters stood out. I mean, you have your dad who, spoiler alert, he dies in the beginning, and
all the characters in the game are super generic.
Yeah, they're very generic. There's nothing that really kind of stands out about them.
The game has like a very platinum presentation.
Yes. Yeah. You look at it and you're like, platinum.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know. Not really much else to say about it, to be honest. It was a solid game. Would I recommend people to play it? Yeah, if you don't have anything else to play. Like, in the sense that, like, if you have, like, bigger games that you're just like, man, I'm dying to play those games first.
Yeah.
Like, this is just a game, like, if you just really don't have anything else to play.
Yeah, if it's like $20, go ahead and buy it.
Hey, man, honestly, like, if you got $20 for whatever, and you want to play, obviously it doesn't cost that much. It's a $60 game.
Yeah.
But, like, if you just have nothing to play,
go for it.
Why don't you give it a shot?
Yeah. Alrighty then. So, let's see. So, my number 5 was my Weeaboo Game of the Year. Fate Extella Link, which if you... I'm not gonna try to explain the Fate story.
Fuck no, Nate.
Or anything here. Yeah, we don't have 3 hours.
Dude, it's gonna be like the next Sunday by the time you fucking finish explaining Fate.
But if you know like the characters and sort of the Fate logic.
Fate logic.
This is basically, it's just a Muso game that's a lot of fun. And like the story is actually surprisingly good. Like, I've never been one for Muso games because to me the genre always seemed like, oh, you're just like killing
stuff for no
hordes
reason.
of enemies for no reason. This game actually makes like a lot of fun. It's how to explain it? So the music in the game is pretty good, and the presentation of the game, I think the game looks pretty good, like visually. And I like the presentation of the story, but
there's a story to begin with, right? Because I think that's kind of your critique that with a lot of other Muso games, that there's not really a story, right? Like
like in something like, for example, like Fire Emblem Heroes. The story is
Fire Emblem Warriors, right?
Fire Emblem Warriors, that's right, yeah.
Fire Emblem Heroes is the mobile game. Yeah, same thing like with the Hyrule Warriors, right?
Yeah. So those games is kind of just like, there's an enemy, go defeat it. There is like a story, there are like characters and like... Because the main crux of this game, character-wise, is Charlemagne. And because, you need his help to defeat like this other, servant that is basically trying to take over this simulated world that you're in. Because this is like the third... This is the third or fourth story in this branch of the Fate storyline. But anyway, that's not important. So as you're progressing through the game, you go through different stages and you fight against different servants, throughout Fate. Like, Saber or Gilgamesh or, whoever. As you progress, you can recruit and earn, different servants. But honestly, as I was just doing the story missions, I did all of them with Charlemagne, because he's the story one, so I'll just use Charlemagne the whole and that game is so much fun, and when you're fighting against an enemy boss or servant, you can get into clashes, and me and you both really love clashes, so you get into a combo clash, and I'm just in there mashing a square. It's the game. So the game is super simple, but that's it doesn't but that's the best thing about it. It doesn't try to overcomplicate you with anything. You can get through all of the story in probably 10 hours or less. Because all I gotta do is beat the A route, the B route, and then you unlock a C route. So the game's super simple. It doesn't try to overcomplicate you.
It knows what it is.
Yeah, it knows exactly what it is, and that's what I love about it. It's just I was I'll just do this one more mission. The game is very addictively fun. It is cotton candy video games, and that's why I love it. It was probably the biggest surprise to me of the year, because this is the game out of all of these, the one I just got on a whim and played. So I had a really good time with it.
Yeah. Sure, it's good.
You should play it sometime, Carlos. If you ever dive into the never-ending pit that is Fate lore.
God. I know I don't know shit about Fate.
Yeah.
And I will say out of our list name the games that you've gone over already.
Just Far Cry New Dawn and Borderlands 3.
And
Outer Worlds.
Okay, so yeah, Outer Worlds I do plan on playing at some point. I just haven't played it.
Yeah.
And then Fate. I mean, I would be willing to give it a shot. I mean,
it's a fun game.
I don't really have anything against it, but you know me, I have fucking 40, 50 games to go through at some point.
Yeah.
The never-ending backlog, which I do believe I will finish at some point.
Sure.
At some point. But.
So, what'd you have at number 5, right?
Days Gone. Deacon St. John.
Yeah.
I love that character. Deacon St. John is first of all, the name's dope as fuck. I don't know, in a way, I don't know, when I look at these lists, now that I think
about it.
The
Adventures of Deacon and Boozer.
Yeah, Deacon Boozer. I mean, Sarah was his girlfriend's name, right?
I don't know. You're the one who finished the game.
That's true. Hey, dang, now I feel like starting someone now. Now I think it felt like a shot now. No, yeah, I think it was her name Sarah, but No, but Deacon and Boozer, their relationship of like being like
separated.
No, but being like brothers though in a way, like because they're not actually.
Sorry, Deacon and Boozer. You said
Boozer, yeah.
Okay, my bad. Yeah.
Yeah, them being like, related, or not being related, but like.
Well, they are brother-in-laws, right? Because Deacon and Sarah are married, right? Isn't Boozer like Sarah's brother? Right?
I don't think so.
Oh, really?
I don't think
That's
so.
what I thought it was in the game. I thought they were brother-in-laws.
I don't. Maybe I could be wrong. But I mean, obviously, I just knew they were part of the gang thing. They always.
Carlos, did you actually play this game?
Yes, I fucking played this game. Yeah. You know, I have a shit memory after I played this game in like months ago.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like honestly though, like with Deacon, like he felt like almost like pretty relatable, and a lot of the actions like. I think you kind of felt this way too about in certain games where, you kind of watch. It's like how you felt with what's his character's name, Poe in Star Wars, where you're like he's the only one where I'm like
makes any common sense.
It makes any common sense, and I'm like I'm with you. I understand why you're doing this.
Yeah,
that's how I felt about Deacon throughout the whole game, and like I'm like throughout the the events that happen in the game, I'm just like okay, I understand why you're doing this, even though because there's so many times where. Deacon wants to be selfish, and he feels like, oh man, I really need to do this for me and for my goal, which was finding his girl. But at the same time, he still had a fucking heart. He still felt like, man, I got to do this for the better of the camp or the of the world in that sense, because he was always going around helping all these fucking camps.
Yeah. From
the old lady who sucked, who was at the top left of the map, I remember, the old man. Oh man, it has Iron Mike. Okay. Iron Mike, and this. I remember the character. You hated this character too in the beginning of the game. When you because you played a little bit at the beginning of the game. When you get to the first camp, there's a character that sucks.
Yeah,
and he 100% sucks.
Yeah,
he's just like an asshole to you, and I don't get why.
Pretty much almost all of Carlos's games on this list, I've probably played at least a chunk of, a little, and then I bailed on.
But no, I think like if you were to play the game, you would. I think like Deacon is a great character. The riding on the bike and like in a way getting attached to your motorcycle is pretty cool. Customizing it is kind of pretty easy. You'll be able to customize it however you want pretty much.
Yeah.
Gas and stuff. Gas surprisingly okay. So you have to get fuel to get around from camp to camp, but honestly, it's kind of simple that you just fast travel to points and like okay. The way the game works is if you know where there's like a little gallon of fuel of gas, all you gotta do is like fast travel there, remember where it's at, go over there, fill your bike up, and then just keep moving. You can like fast travel pretty much everywhere throughout the game in case you're tired of actually driving. But if you want to drive and if you really do remember where's gas is at, then you can just go grab it, fill it up, and keep it moving. So I kind of actually like that about the game because you didn't want to feel too realistic where you're just stuck and you're like, I have no gas. I fucking, can't get it to some fucking place and, can't get around. So it was never had that any frustration like that. The game itself hasn't like running or anything, didn't have any problems. I'm not sure if other people did when they played the game, but I don't think I think really
compared to most open world games, it had like a smoother launch.
Kind of had a smoother launch. I personally didn't have any problems.
Yeah, I didn't either.
So that was fine. Let's see. There's actually a lot of branches of like storylines in a way where, like, you kind of get hit with like, oh, if you do this mission, it goes to this storyline. Like they have like names of storylines.
Yeah.
And there's like a total of like 20 of them in the game.
Yeah.
And I don't remember all like the names of the storylines.
Surprisingly long this game is.
Yeah, I did a lot of.
I bought the game expecting it to be like 20 hours, and then like I didn't finish it, and then like I hear all this stuff. It's like, yeah, it's like a 60, 70 hour game.
I dumped in like 50, 60 hours,
and I'm just like, I was like, man, I was not expecting JRPG length from this game.
Yeah, but honestly, like I enjoyed it. From what I remember, I just had fun playing it the whole entire time.
Yeah,
I never felt like, man, I never felt pissed like some of the other games on this list where I'm like, why the fuck am I playing this game? No, I enjoyed playing it, and I kept on wanting to play it.
Yeah.
And I liked who I was, the character I was playing as.
Did you find, like, taking down hordes satisfying?
Yeah, because dude, it felt like you had to dump the fucking kitchen sink. Like, you had to have everything to fucking destroy a horde. Like, and, I felt like, surprisingly, you did have to, like, plan out, man, I'm going to use this, like, I don't know, grenades and C4s here, then the Molotovs here, and then I'm going to run under this fucking bridge or whatever, cut it, kill some people, hordes there, use all your ammo. Like, yes, it was satisfying because, for me anyways, it felt like I dumped everything just to kill, like, one horde.
Yeah.
And I did it a couple of times. I actually didn't do it until, like, much later into the game, though.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure some other people probably, just try to do it earlier on in the game. I didn't.
Yeah.
I just waited until later on. And, like, it really felt like, not scary per se, but, like, I don't know, there was tension. Like, if there was a horde there and you're just trying to
stealth by,
and, like, dude, that shit, like, I felt that.
Yeah.
And same thing with, I was talking about getting fuel. Sometimes you knew where fuel was at.
Yeah.
But there was a horde there, so you had to go fucking get the fuel. Make sure you walk over there, and you're it was really actually very tense. Everything, control wise felt fine. Like I said, I like driving the bike, felt pretty smooth. Shooting and all that felt pretty good. I know, like, in a way, it felt like a lot of people were kind of, in a way, down with it, right? Like, they were kind of, or...
a lot of people... I think a lot of people found it kind of just like, oh, it's just like another zombie game.
Just another... But, I don't know, I feel like this is a game I would recommend. Like I say, if you want to...
Yeah, if you want Sons of Anarchy plus Walking Dead, here you go.
Hey, all right. So
honestly, that's what initially sold me on the game.
Yeah, so... I would say just give it a shot. I do like... And there's, like, a nice little plot twist at the end where I'm kind of wondering... if, like, they would make another game.
I think the game's had, like, legs sales wise.
Yeah.
I think like the game, like, initially, but I think it picked up like Steam over time. I think there probably will be a Days Gone too.
Now, hopefully, it doesn't, like, struggle with, like, how this one did with, like, development, right? Like, it was just like...
Oh yeah, like, this game took forever to come out.
Fucking forever to come out. So, no, that'd be, like, the only thing I say about it. I mean,
because they were going from developing games on the Vita to the games on PS4.
Yeah. What was it, like, Bend Studio?
Yeah, Sony Bend. Because they went from... The last game they made before this was Uncharted Golden Abyss on the Vita.
Jesus.
But a lot of people did say, like, Uncharted Golden Abyss is a really good game.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, true.
So moving on, my number 4 is Bloodstained, Ritual of the Night.
Oh, bro. That is one game I do want to play. That's on your list.
So, Bloodstained is a Metroidvania made by the father... Well, I guess... I don't know what the first Metroidvania, style game was.
Sure.
But, like, the most most recognized person
exactly.
for Metroidvania games, Koji Igarashi, because he kickstarted this back. Let's see. I think this was, like, after we graduated, right? When the Kickstarter started. Were we, like, seniors?
Was it?
I don't remember.
Back in high school?
Yeah, all I remember is my number 9. We saw how that turned out. But anyway.
Oh, fuck no.
But anyway, it was a Kickstarter game. Successfully launched, and it came out this year. And I kept on going. Before the game came out, I was initially going back and forth a lot. I was like, I'll get the game, and I was like, no, I don't think I'll get the game. I'll get the game. No, I don't get the game. The game looks ugly, but, like, it might not be too bad when I actually play it. And then a bit before the game came out, they had that trailer.
Yes, the trailer, very important trailer.
The fan feedback trailer where Igarashi's like. They had
him sitting on a fucking, like, throne or something, right?
Yeah, because he loves playing into, like, the Castlevania bits and all of that. He's like, sorry,
no, you're fine.
He's sitting on the throne, and he's like, they say my game's graphics look like poop. We'll see about that. So he does, like, the Dracula bit where he, like, throws the glass of wine.
Yeah.
And then, like, it shows, like. Like, they have, like, the screen split. So on the left side is, like, poop graphics, and on the right side is, like, new graphics, and it actually says that. And that's what sold me on the game. Because it like, they really took that fan and, like, backer criticism and really, made the game look a lot better. So I went and bought it. And honestly, I was surprised by how much fun this game is. because I've tried to get into like multiple like Castlevania games, and a lot of them I don't like because for one reason or another, and this one just really seemed to click for me because getting new abilities by killing enemies like through the shards, that's great. Like being able to equip like multiple different types of shards, like whether it's like a movement shard or like attack shards. I forgot the specific names.
Sure. I get you.
But and then like finding new weapons and gear is super satisfying. Like I love the flying edge weapon. It's like it's literally is what it sounds like. It's a sword that when you slash it, like a flying sword comes out and attacks like your enemy, like in front of you.
Okay.
Which, so there's a lot of like you can kind of like play and like kill enemies however you want to. Like you can be like really focused on using shards, or like you might have like some kind of weapon that has some kind of cool ability on it. So it is very. So it was super. There's a lot of like RPG elements surprisingly in the game, like stats wise and weapon wise. And then
I feel like that's how.
Most of it,
you, but no, as it went along, the stats kind of played more into it.
Yeah.
In comparison to like
Symphony of the Night or
like
something.
Symphony of the Night in comparison to like the DS games. I
Yeah.
feel like I remember like when I played like what was it, like Dawn of Sorrow.
Yeah.
Order of Ecclesia and
Portrait of Ruin.
Portrait of Ruin. Like there were like a little more stats to it, more like items and abilities.
And like I really love the level design and like the soundtrack.
Yeah, I was say
is really good. It really fits the environments. It's not the most beautiful looking game. It's like it's not his like classic like
the pixel
art. It's like 2.5D like art, but I still think it looks really good. I really like the look and feel of the castle and the environments. And like you get like new, also of course you get like new abilities to help you navigate and like get to new places as you would in any Metroidvania game. And
boss fights.
The boss fights are great. I'm sure you've seen the boss fight where it's like the tower and there's like the two dragon heads.
Maybe like,
probably from the trailer, but
maybe I don't remember anymore.
Yeah.
Especially because I try to forget all the stuff since
so
since I want to play the game myself.
So like there is one of the boss fights that you're on a tower, and as you're going up the tower, the boss fight starts, and it's like a two-headed like dragon snake thing that's like following you up, and then like as you progress through the fight, the heads corner you, so you have like one head to your left and one head to your right, and so you have to like dodge attacks from both of the heads at the same time. And it's a really cool fight, and like it really sold me like on the 2.5D, because as you're going up or down the tower, like the screen like pans around, like as if you were actually moving up through the tower. So stuff like that. And
control wise,
the game controls great. Like I never had like an issue where like, oh, that didn't feel good to do or anything like that. Or if I die, like I never blamed it like on like the controls.
So the game felt consistent is what
Yes.
I would like to know.
Yeah,
Okay.
very much. Like I hear that there were issues with the Switch version. I played on PS4, but like they came out with a
new patch.
a new patch that fixes like almost all the issues for the Switch a couple months ago. Like I would very highly recommend playing this game. The story is like most Castlevania games, it's like nothing really great, but it's like enough to get you through.
Sure. I mean, you're there for the gameplay, right?
Yeah. There are like side quests and stuff, and like things to do as you explore through the tower. There's this guy who keeps on getting lost, so you have to you give him like a teleportation stone so that way he can get back to the village. And then like as you progress like further through the tower, you find him again, and it's like, well, you mentioned food, so when I didn't say anything about the village, I thought about food, and he winds up in the kitchen of the castle, so you have to give him another waystone, and then it's like, I thought I heard water dripping, so like he ends up in like this like flooded water area, and then like finally you give him another stone, and he finally makes it back to the village.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's a lot of like small side quests like that. But yeah, definitely a game I would highly recommend. So what's your next game?
Let's see. So what we hit 4, 5. Okay, now we're at 4 for me.
Yes.
Which would be Kingdom Hearts 3.
Kingdom Hearts 3. So you have it at 4. I have it at number 3.
And this, like right now, you're on your third one, right?
Yeah.
Like, you would have been like next one on your third one. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Kingdom Hearts 3 is probably it was like the hardest game. It was easily the hardest game to place on this list.
Same.
Because the game, for me personally, this is my most disappointing game of the year. I came into 2019 fully expecting this game to be GOTY.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Like, I knew for me personally at the time, I knew there were a couple other games, but this, like, Nate, you know how much we love Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
Like,
there's nothing else like it.
There's nothing else like it. It's fucking stupid. There's
Yeah.
a lot of dumb things.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, like, fucking complicated ass story stuff that, like,
yeah,
you have to, like, be committed as hell to learn and shit.
Yeah.
But once you're in it, you're in it.
Yes.
And there's nothing like it. And we had pretty high expectations, I feel like.
Yeah.
But
like there's some pretty sizable issues with the game. Like the story, so a lot of people say this, like, if we said something along the lines of, well, the story wasn't very good, and like some people would say that the Kingdom Hearts stories have never been good.
Yeah.
But it's like the story in this game makes like the least sense. Not from like an overcomplication, but just like the why things are happening.
Like,
in that sense,
as people who
like no one
understands the lore, like, it really felt like Sora was just like going from planet to planet, or,
wasting time to
the end of the game.
Yeah.
And for a game that probably had a bunch of cutscenes and a bunch of dialogue, whatever, it still felt like we needed more cutscenes and more dialogue and more explanations.
It's the culmination of a saga of like literally 17 years of a series culminated at the end of this Darkseeker saga, and it wasn't satisfying.
No, it wasn't. Come Kingdom Hearts.
We'll get
Be
there.
my guiding key.
Yeah. So, I in Kingdom Hearts 2, for example, the reason that Sora's going from world to world is to get stronger, but mainly so that way he can look for Riku and Mickey. Mm-hmm. There is no, like in Kingdom Hearts 3, the main reason that they say you're going is that Sora can become stronger again in preparation for the Battle of the Keyblade Graveyard. There's, like, no other reason for him to go into these planets. So, like, Sora, like, going through these worlds feels like busy work. Like, while, like, Riku and, like, Mickey are doing stuff.
Yeah, and there's, like, he himself almost sometimes felt like he was very confused on what the hell he was doing.
Yeah.
Going from from world to world. And it's like,
but,
I don't know.
On the other hand, I thought the worlds were great. Like, I love the worlds and, like, the creatures in the worlds. Like, for example, like, the Toy Story world. I was surprised by, like, how well they captured the feeling of that world. Like, I felt like I was, like, in a Toy Story movie.
Yeah. I mean, kind of, what's called Pirates of the Caribbean.
I love it.
Yeah. No, and the music's great, and, I mean, the remixes are nice. The game's gorgeous. Like, there's just things, like they definitely got it right.
Yeah.
From the combat, like, feeling, like, really nice and stuff.
Yeah. The combat feels fun, but it's not challenging.
That there you go. Like for every pro, it feels like there's like a condo. Like, for like as smooth as the game it feels and how pretty it looks, it's like, but the game's not challenging and it doesn't feel like it pushes you.
Yeah.
And like, we played on Proud and it still felt like,
we played on the highest difficulty available at the time. And it still felt like, okay, whatever. It's not that hard.
It's not that hard.
Like, I feel like Kingdom Hearts 2 on normal is
harder. Is what it felt like, at least. Game felt pretty simple, or easy, excuse me.
Yeah.
And as much as we like the worlds, sometimes it kind of did feel like it could be empty in a way.
Yeah.
Sometimes it could be like these pretty big worlds where, like, there was like
it was
not enough characters in there.
It was interesting to see worlds other than Twilight Town that had people in them.
Yeah.
Because, like, Hercules World actually, because since you weren't in, like, just the
you mean
the Colosseum
2.9.
Yeah, and they make that joke at the beginning where technically Hercules World is like 2.9. I forgot about that until you mentioned it.
Yeah, I thought.
Because before in the series, like, you would go to Hercules World and it was just like the arena.
Yeah, just the
and like, it would show the stands and the'd be cheering from the stands and there'd be nobody in there. And it was honestly funny, but like, there's actually people in this world this time.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Movement in the game feels great, like flow motion or walking up walls.
Yeah, all feels pretty good.
Like, walking up like the side of a skyscraper in San Francisco is like one of the coolest things I've done all year.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So it's like it's one of those games where it's like as much as you can find fault with it, there's still like so many cool things.
Yeah, like I just love it too much, but also like in a way,
it's like
you like critically try to like
yeah.
examine the game and say like does
we're highly critical of the game because like we love the series and we wanted even more than this.
Even more than this.
I mean, we have Kingdom Hearts Remind coming up in 17 days now.
Is it really 17 days?
Yeah, it would have been 18, but we crossed over from the 5th to the 6th in the progress of this podcast.
Sure.
So like on the 23rd of this month, we have Kingdom Hearts Remind coming out, which should expand and cover some stuff that happened in story, like cut content or whatever.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Like Final Fantasy characters.
Yeah, there's no Final Fantasy characters in the game. Like you don't go to Radiant Garden. Like even in the advertisements, they show like Yin Sid's world, like before the game came out.
Yes, I remember I pointed this out to you. I was like, dude, they clearly show Yin Sid's world. You're playing on there. Then you fucking play the game, and you just like it's no cutscenes. You never even.
They have like maybe a couple cutscenes of that place, but you never go there.
You never go there, and I'm like, what the hell happened? Like they just straight up cut shit, I guess.
I think really it's just like if the stuff that's coming out in Remind would have been included in the game probably would have taken like maybe like another, because like let's see, that game came out in January of last year, so it seems like it would have taken another year for it to come out basically.
Yeah, I guess.
So I guess like Square Enix is like
we'll just pop out the game and then DLC it.
Yeah, so that's disappointing, but at least we're getting that stuff. At least it's not just like cut and it's like we have to wait for a final mix 5 years from now.
Yeah, that's true, and that's the other thing that's kind of interesting because you're right. Kingdom Hearts always has like a final mix kind of thing, so this is like their final mix.
Yeah,
and maybe we might view the game a lot differently. I guess in comparison to how we feel like base Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah, after Remind.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm expecting.
Because the newest trailer for Kingdom it fucking sucked me in, and I knew it would. It's like, all these bosses again. Fucking, you see like what
new story stuff.
If you see Yuffie being the size of like a fucking, like 3 feet.
Squall
is
like 8
Squall
feet tall.
like fucking Shaq height. Like, all right, whatever. That's a little confusing there. So, no, I mean,
Kingdom Hearts 3 is something that I would only recommend to people who are fans of the series, or if you are gonna play Kingdom Hearts and you aren't a fan of the series, like you have to skip cutscenes. I don't see how you can do it if you don't skip cutscenes.
It'd just be very like this is like when I look at these games, like I said, like I would recommend somebody to play Days Gone, right?
Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts 3 to me is like, if you're a Kingdom Hearts fan, you're playing Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
I can't really be like, hey, I recommend Kingdom Hearts 3. It's like, nah, I don't really recommend it.
Yeah, because like Kingdom Hearts is something that like, even though it might not like. You might not get it. You have to start from the beginning. You have to start from Kingdom Hearts 1 and work your way up. It's like required reading.
Yeah. Either that or like you said, Rick, reading, like you're just going to have to like know all the lore and be like, I know why fucking all of this stuff happened. And and that's the other thing we have a kind of a problem with Kingdom Hearts is not necessarily the game, but like what it's going to, like its connection with the phone.
Yeah.
The mobile game.
Yeah, because the next saga is going to be heavily tied to, like, the mobile game story. Like, the Foretellers.
Yes.
Which isn't, like, super exciting. But I believe, like, how they did with the 2.8 action. They'll do, like, another movie or, like, another game that, like, summarizes up all of the mobile game story.
Like, that's
still not satisfying, though.
No, it's, like, it's just that... It's not that the plot points or the things that are happening isn't interesting. It's just like it's stuck behind a mobile game that personally I wouldn't really want to play. Like, I don't really feel like playing a mobile game. So I don't want to play a mobile game. I kind of want to know what the hell is happening, but of course we're going to have to fucking watch YouTube videos and like read it to try to learn what the hell is happening and connect all the dots. Cuz that is kind of what's fun about Kingdom Hearts, where you're connecting the dots of what the hell is happening and all the lore. And like when you're a Kingdom Hearts fan and you're watching the like cutscenes, like new trailers, and you see like two people interacting, like, oh my god, it's blah 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 blah. Is it? And
oh, these two characters reunite after all this time.
Yeah,
it's like it's one of the most weird things to experience, but like we said, there's nothing quite like it.
Yeah, and then you hear those fucking like Like the Kingdom Hearts 1 line at the end of the
Oh
trailer.
yeah, like I've been having these strange dreams.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
God damn it. That's when you know you're sucked in.
Yeah. So, what is your number 3?
So for me, it's Dragon Quest XI, the Switch version specifically, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that came out because at the time I was gonna go play the PS4 version because it came out a year before.
Last
right?
year.
Yeah.
Well, 2018.
2018.
It's 2020 now.
Yeah, gotta get used to that. But yeah, the Switch version came out in 2019.
Yeah.
And
because the Switch version has all this content, and
the
experience is just like, hey, PS4 owners, fuck you.
Yeah. And I pretty much all I can say is that I love the game, but there's a giant like problem I have, and you also have with which is like the post game and story things that happen there.
Yeah.
Because pretty much otherwise, like the combat of like
yeah,
like I mean both of us could talk about it where because you obviously played it too. Like you played it the whole way through.
Yeah.
Just
like the whole. So we'll skip over the post game stuff because that's like it's pretty involved.
Yeah, pretty involved.
We have to be talking here for 30 minutes just to explain it all.
Yeah.
But like we have gripes with like the post game content, but like I feel like overall the game's pretty good.
Pretty good.
Because I was down on the game, then you kind of like after you beat it, you kind of like hit me with your pitch, and I was like, all right.
Yeah, like, and I'm not saying like you didn't have like a like me and Nate talked about it, because he wanted to know what I thought about the game when I finished it, and I thought, here's my pitch about why, because he told me he was a little down on it, but I told him why it's actually really good, except for the post game thing that we won't really talk about right now because it'll take way too fucking long. But like, and I'm totally with him. If it's what I think it is, or like if it is what he thinks it is, then he's 100% right, and it is a huge knock on the game.
Yeah.
But if it's what I think it is, and what I feel like a lot of fans kind of like, it has to be this.
Yeah.
Then the game is pretty good and it works. And I know that sounds very vague to like people that are listening, but you just kind of have to trust us to like.
Yeah. So
that's where we have to keep it at.
I guess the way we can summarize it, the short is Dragon Quest XI the prequel to the prequel of the game, or is it not? Basically.
Kind of, yeah.
Sort of. That's like the most easy way to describe it.
Yeah.
But I think, like...
The cast.
cast, like, I love the party members.
Jade, Savondo,
yeah,
Eric.
Jade is like one of my favorite like JRPG characters of all time.
Eric, Savondo,
and like the enemy designs are great, like Cruel Cumbers and all of that. And the story for like a Dragon Quest game is like surprisingly like actually a bit moving. Like between some of the character moments. I don't think like the actual like Serena. Villain of the game.
Yeah, you're right. I agree.
Morrigan sucks.
Will you like Jasper?
Jasper's great.
Jasper's great.
They should have made Jasper the villain of the game.
Yeah, Jasper's really good. Hendrick.
Yeah.
Darkspawn.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, and he was one of the characters, but I'm saying as much as I love the game, that he's a silent protagonist, and there's some moments where like with him, like the hero and like Jade, or they could like hit a little bit better,
if
or
the
him
hero would say something.
Him or Serena, like could it like. Really hit a little bit better if he could like say something and react.
Yeah.
Like it isn't as bad as like Sun and Moon like Pokemon.
Yeah.
Where like
characters change like blank expression.
The same blank expression, and like someone could be getting like dying right in front of it. Just like
like he
at least a little bit more of a facial expression. Or
like silent protagonists are a convention of a time past. Like, there's not really a need for them anymore, other than like sheer laziness.
Yeah.
Like unless like the character is like stored, in the story like a mute or something, there's no reason for the character not to talk.
Yes.
Like Half-Life, Gordon Freeman just straight up doesn't talk, and the characters react to that, which I think is cool. Mm-hmm. But like JRPGs have side protagonists all the time. They don't do that.
Yes.
Like Persona, it doesn't bother me because like everything that's happening is so damn cool, and I just like I'll just deal with it because the story's great.
But that does bother me. I still say I'm like, hey,
because like you're having like these moments with characters, and then like like at least with like Persona, you're choosing like an option, like what your character said. You're just not having them say it.
Yes, that is true.
So Persona is like kind of like the least worst offender.
Yes, because you at least in your head can like voice the character in your head and like, oh,
Yeah.
he said this line, that's why she reacted, or
Yeah.
he reacted this way. Well, the other games, like, he's just like, he didn't say anything. You're just like,
Yeah.
I guess she reacted this way, or he reacted this way because he said
Yeah.
something.
But like in Dragon Quest 11, I really like the pet powers, like the pet. Are they called like the? So the combination attacks, those are just called pet powers, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Pet powers and like there's like a percentage of chance that you can increase by while you're leveling up on your tree, that you'll just randomly get a pet power, and then there's like a combination pet powers. I don't remember if they had a name, or you just called them pet powers.
I'm not sure.
But they're very interesting. Like they all have a bunch of different effects. Fucking Hallelujah or the Metal Slime one. Because that's how I fucking grinded at the end of the game. Because I fought like the secret boss. I did everything.
Yeah, the true final boss.
The true final boss.
Giant Cell. We never talked about that, but basically he looks like Cell.
Yeah, Giant Cell. Yeah, and no, the powers are pretty cool. We just saw, doing like basic spells and stuff like that. Like any JRPG, and like it was fun to do.
So I got a question for you. In Dragon Quest, do you think is it kind of? I kind of have with Dragon Quest. I have the feeling that you have with Astral Chain, where I kind of feel like it takes too long to get skill points to get more abilities. Because like you get to like say like level like a higher levels, right? Or higher in like in the tree, and it takes like I don't know, like 10 or 15 points to get this skill, and that means like you have to like level up. Do you get 1 point per level, or you get like a few points per level? I can't remember.
No, you get more than one.
So like, say you get a couple of points. If you get like 4, that's gonna take you like at least. If you have like a skill that costs 16 points to get, that means you have to level up 4 times just to get that one skill, and then you have like multiple skills on that tree that cost that same amount of points. It just felt like. In RPGs, I like to get new stuff.
Sure.
And like in Dragon Quest, it feels like it takes too long.
Okay, I would say like, since I played it most recently, it didn't feel that bad. I don't know if that was different in the Switch though. That's the other thing. There's some like differences that I'm not sure if I remember. Like there's some story stuff where there's like some like there's something that happens around like the middle of the game and.
Yeah, you got extra cutscenes.
You get extra cutscenes and stuff that you didn't get, and I definitely understand like why PS4 owners are kind of like, we supported the game and you kind of we didn't get any of the content. Like I have it on this system. Can I at least like buy the DLC or whatever?
Yeah, because like if they even have like if they came with like a patch that updated the PS4 version, or like maybe like a $5 or $5 or $10 expansion to upgrade the game, I would have done it. But then Square Enix is like, fuck you!
Yeah, no. Yeah.
$60.
$60, I got you.
On another platform.
So, no, I got you, but honestly, like...
But I do think the game's really solid, though.
It's really good.
I'm excited for the next Dragon Quest.
Oh, that's the other thing. The voice acting... Like,
the voice acting game's really good.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Like, I know, like, usually, like, when it's English, you just kind of... I feel like...
a lot of... I'm usually
but everybody does. I feel like you say you, but like to be honest, I feel like a lot of people it's English, disgusting. Like
I mean, there's a lot of shitty dubs. So. Like, I mean, you still get stuff nowadays like Xenoblade 2 dub, and I'm just like that's disgusting. Yeah. So as much as I love that game.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you definitely recommend Dragon Quest 11, right?
Oh, 100%.
I agree. I recommend it too.
I'd recommend it. That's commitment, and you're gonna be dumping some hours into that shit. But hey, if you got time and you want to play a pretty good RPG, I definitely recommend it.
So for my number 2, I have another long ass RPG, Fire Emblem 3 Houses. Damn. So I'm not a big Fire Emblem fan. This is like the only one I've played through to completion. Actually, this is the only one I've played like
at all. Yeah, you never played any of those.
Yeah, because I think. I would have played like Awakening or Fates, but I think the 3DS graphics look like ugly when it comes to Fire Emblem.
Yeah, I mean
it's ugly. Like the models look like shit.
Yeah.
So I bought 3 Houses because initially I wasn't going to get it, and then you got the collector's edition, right? But you were in the middle of playing some other game, so it's like, hey, can I try this out? Because everybody's like ranting and raving about how good this game is.
Oh yeah, you're right. No, that's what happened.
Yeah,
I bought the collector's edition. I went to your house and
I was holding on to it for you while you were playing into some other game.
Yeah, and I was just, hey, just hold on for me. I know you don't give a shit about this game. And then all of a sudden, you were just.
I didn't have anything to play, and everybody was ranting, giving this game like 8s and 9s and 10s.
And you just hit me with the.
Can I try it out?
Can I try it out? And I'm like, what? I was very confused. I was like, try it out.
Yeah, because I usually don't play strategy games either.
Yeah, and I was like, try it. Fire Emblem? Like, I thought you said you didn't give a shit about this game. He's like,
yeah.
Well, people keep saying it's kind of like Persona, and I'm like, hey, man, obviously, I want you to enjoy the same games as I do, so sure, give it a fucking shot.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
and
it
so,
works.
And I tried it out, and it was great. And basically, Fire Emblem, like Three Houses takes like the Fire Emblem formula and then adds Persona into it. Like, they have a calendar. You like increase, like doing support conversations is basically like social links. Also, you have a silent protagonist in this game, and I feel like it's really bad in this one. There's like a lot of moments in the story that I think would be like really benefited by your character talking.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Like a character, like in Three Houses, like you might have like a character dies, it's supposed to be an emotional scene, your character doesn't say anything, and it just like it reduces the impact like of that moment. And the combat, so battles, by the time I got to the end of the game, the battles were pretty easy because I made Byleth so overpowered.
That's how it goes with every farm. Like, because as me, I've only played Awakening, Fates, and Shadows of Valencia.
Yeah.
Your main protagonist pretty much always becomes busted. Now, I will say, yes, Fire Emblem, I was told that Fire Emblem...
Three Houses was like probably the easiest.
But on hard is easier than like normal on the other ones.
Yeah.
Like, damn, like that is very easy then.
Yeah. So on my playthrough I went with Blue Lions, and just to inform you on like the story I experienced. And so I loved Dimitri as a character. Like he starts out as like this really noble guy.
Blonde man.
Yeah. And then like he goes through the time skip, and it's like very like tragic. He becomes like super dark and edgy. I'm like, this is cool. I like dark and edgy stuff. And it's kind of like a redemption arc, or almost like finding his nobility again. Okay. And it's like, it's really, really good. And then there's other characters like Sylvain, who like hates the nobility. Like he's part of the nobility, but he hates the nobility.
Okay.
That he thinks that like people only find interest in him because of his crest, and want to like have his children and stuff, because like if they can give birth to one of his children that has a crest, that kind of guarantees them to be like wealthy, or grant them like a level of stability in their lives. And so he just like he acts two-faced, but he has like one of the most like in-depth stories in the whole game. And like exploring around the monastery and like talking to your students, and like either fishing or cooking food, like you really talking to them, like you really do get attached to these characters, and attached to like the academy, I forgot the name of the academy, academy that you're in,
and specifically like the people in your group, right?
Yeah, I mean you can recruit some of the other characters from other houses, but honestly it's such a pain to do. I didn't really do it. It's like almost like before like the middle stages of the game, because when you get to around chapter 11, that's like when like the kind of like right before the time skip, and then chapter 12 is like basically the war era of the game. And so like, because like to recruit like a person from another house, like you would talk to them, and like you wouldn't they need to have like certain stat requirements from Byleth. It's like this character is interested in learning about bows and lances, so you would have to get the stats up on Byleth in bows and lances up to like a level that they are interested in, or get their support high enough to where like it doesn't matter as much for them stat wise. But it's just like it's like it feels like a waste of time to put that much
effort
like,
on like a non
on a character that's like not even in your house to start with. Especially because like when you get them, then you have to like build them up from zero, basically. So like recruiting a character from another house feels like a waste of time, especially since the game is so easy. Like there were some hard fights. Like some fights, like I don't think I had like a game over the entire game. Because you can rewind time.
Yeah, that was a thing you can do in Shadows of Valencia. Where
Yeah,
there was like a you could rewind time like a certain amount of turns, but you can only do it X amount of times. I think
it's the same thing here. Like you get like starting out in the game, you can probably only do it like once or twice, like or something like that. But as you progress through the game, you get the ability to do it more often. And I feel like it made the game too easy. Or
you don't okay.
The ability to rewind time.
I was gonna say like you don't feel like it saved you time though.
Oh,
you know, like some people like
made a mistake or
yeah.
I mean, I personally liked it as somebody who doesn't want to, because since it is a strategy game, like fights take like a while. They'll take like 20 minutes. Yeah,
you don't
want
to like be, 15 turns in and then like you messed up with that one thing. It's like okay, let me just go back to that one.
Yeah, I do find it very handy. Yeah. I think maybe like the answer would be to like get less uses out of it than I had, because I think by the time like I was towards the end of the game, I could probably use it like 10 times or something like that.
Damn. Okay.
Okay. So it's like maybe I think I'd be fine with like 5 or so maybe.
Okay.
Because I only use it for like crucial moments, like they killed a character, let me rewind time so that character didn't die, like I'll reposition.
Yeah.
Like because I'm the type of person that like I'll make a move and it's like I'll sit there for like 2 minutes or so on moving one character, just like thinking about it. So I didn't have like a whole lot of like times where like I accidentally moved a character to like the wrong square. It was like most of the time I rewinded time was like, oh, that character died, let me move him back.
Sure.
I moved to a different spot.
Okay.
That was most of the time I did it. Okay. Like I don't think I ever used up all of my time rewind things in an entire fight in the whole game.
Okay. Even in the beginning?
No. I guess, but in the beginning, I didn't need it.
Yeah, you just thrash people.
Yeah, and like towards like the middle and the end, there were some fights I rewound time to save a character. I like rewind one turn, and then like I go back to thrashing them.
Was there someone who was busted in the beginning of the game? That's pretty much kind of what happened in a lot of Fire Emblems.
Your main character and like your house leader will be the most busted characters.
All right.
That's how it works. Yeah. Like by the end of the game, and that extends to the whole game. Like by the end of the game, Byleth and Dimitri were so broken. Like once I got like all the other enemies cleared out of the way, I could have Byleth solo the boss of that stage. And like even if it was like a boss that had multiple health bars, he could solo it by himself.
Yeah.
And Dimitri could like basically, like I would send Byleth or Dimitri out by themselves. Like they'd be like the rest, like the most of the party would be far away, and then Byleth and Dimitri would be like way ahead of everybody. Like just and like they would all come attack
me. Crowd him, and then you just fuck him up.
And like it felt like Assassin's Creed because like my counter hits would just kill them all.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yep, that's having those problem games.
But the soundtrack is great. Like I really, really think that Fire Emblem has like some fantastic music, and like just like building like these bonds with your students and and like the people around in your cabin, like the other teachers also, is just like some of the most. It's like just really great. Pardon for like the absence of interesting words in my vocabulary, but like,
no, I get you.
But yeah, it's just like. But like there's some like really exceptional like surprisingly deep characters. Like there's characters like Dorothea and whatnot. Dorothea was one character I recruited to my house because I needed somebody to be a dancer. And I was like, I didn't have any.
Why not? Yeah. And that's the other thing that I know. Like a lot of people like to look at Fire Emblem as like the waifu simulator, which you're not gonna like deny that to a certain degree. But to your point, like it does have like some good depth to it.
That's what saved the series. If it wasn't for waifus, that series would be dead. And people didn't accept that.
Yeah.
Like, intelligence systems would go back to something like what? Like Advance Wars? Psh, who knows? Anyway. So.
Some people want them to go back to Advance Wars.
Yeah, but I like my waifus. So, what's your number 2?
You know what? I don't blame you. You're right. I do like waifus too. My number 2 is DMC 5.
Yes.
Which.
I think the main criticism with this game, the only real criticism I have with this game, is that
the environments
are boring, and I personally don't like V, but that's just me.
But you also didn't like Dante.
Like Dante, honestly, I kind of wish I could just play through the whole game as Nero. That's what I wanted.
Yeah, which is very interesting because everyone, including me, would disagree that like Dante is fantastic.
I know Dante gives you like a lot of
options.
options.
Oh my god, give you so many fucking options.
So I'm the type of person that if I have too many options, I just choose to do nothing. That's how I am in my life. If I have like 20 different things I can do, I get overwhelmed by the options and I just choose to do nothing and I just binge watch some like crappy show on Netflix.
Yeah, I get you.
So if Nero, it's like Nero is like limited in his options.
Yeah,
he gives you enough variety without feeling overwhelmed.
Yeah,
and like Nero's like satisfying to play as, and I really like the the charging the revving up.
Revving up, yeah.
Is this on the blue? I mean, is this sword Blue Rose?
Blue Rose, yep.
Yeah, I really like the revving up on Blue Rose. I think it's a cool mechanic. Yeah, so I really, honestly, I just like, man, I just want to play the entire game through with Nero. That's all I wanted to do.
Or was his guns called Blue Rose? No, it wasn't.
Oh, you're right. His gun was Blue Rose. His sword is the Red Queen.
Red Queen. Yep.
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because then like Dante has ebony and ivory.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was. Okay, yeah. But
yeah, I
your
think,
point
like,
is still made.
Yeah, the music in the game is pretty good. It was great.
You're not playing in journalist mode, or
no, I played on normal.
Or like the people who couldn't get a high enough rank couldn't hear the music.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like the music picks up as you.
Yeah, the vocals kick in.
Yeah, the vocals don't kick in until you get up to S rank, which is so easy in this game. This is like the easiest Devil May Cry game.
Yes.
By far, like. I don't think it takes much effort by anybody to get up to S rank.
Like, at least on the normal ones, or
you have to pretty suck not to get to S rank.
I guess.
I guess I could see it in some bosses not getting to S rank, but if you're just fighting against random enemies,
yeah, you should be doing fine.
Yeah,
you should be able to listen to music.
Yeah,
do your thing.
But like they reuse like this one same environment a lot in DMC5.
Yes. But that's kind of okay. We talk.
It makes sense story wise, but it's just it's not a very interesting environment.
They could have like in a way story wise like explained why it looked different or like try to make it look different.
Yeah,
because like your argument at the time was that like it doesn't necessarily have to look like the same, but the way the whole entire time.
Yeah, because like they reuse like the same kind of structure and there's like different levels to it. They could have made the different sections of this environment look different, but it all looks the same.
No, so I do agree with that. That's like one thing that kind of gets tiring. Also, and that's what kind of made me appreciate like when you were in different areas.
Yeah.
Other games where you're just kind of going through like these buildings and like kind of like sewer looking areas, and you're just like, this feels cool in comparison to being in this fucking pink, location, kind of like simple.
Yeah, it's like this like the whole environment is like dark and there's like pink like orbs and like this red kind of like blood. It's like it gets very repetitive and boring looking after a bit. It's cool the first couple times, but like just like going through like the abandoned city is a lot better. It's like actually coming out for like a brush of fresh air compared to those environments.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
I don't like V because like I feel like I'm just like mashing triangle and square.
V is pretty simple, without a doubt. He is like combat wise at least interesting, but at the same time he's still satisfying when like you do like the finishing kill like with.
Oh yeah,
with the cane.
Yeah. Because like V basically you stand away, you're mashing triangle and square, and then you press circle, and then you go back to mashing triangle.
Yeah, no, you're right.
That's the character.
It is pretty simple. So.
And then once in a while, you use double trigger and summon the big one, and then you're mashing triangle, square, and circle.
Yeah, and then you just fucking put your face on the controller and you just start rubbing it back and forth.
Yeah,
I get you. But no, I mean, I really liked the game a lot. I felt like. It kind of still went along with like
has a DMC spirit.
Yes, has a DMC spirit, and like it kind of goes along with the Capcom like the resurgence, I guess. Like Monster Hunter, Devil May Cry coming back.
They had a great year.
They had So honestly, I don't know. Like I know we're not saying too much like in depth about it, but like the story's kind of pretty simple.
The story's Devil May Cry.
It's Devil May Cry. It's
but
simple.
It has what I call the Devil May Cry cheese, which I love.
Yes.
It has dumb stuff. Like you can have like one of Nero's arms. You can like go around on it as like a hoverboard. It has those dumb cheesy moments that you love. Like Dante has a Michael Jackson hat.
Michael Jackson hat, and he's like dancing. Yeah. The fucking cheesy ass lines, the characters, and Hit Lady, Trish, and them. So no, it's just. There's not too much to say. It's Devil May Cry. Like if you're a fan of DMC.
I got one other con though. They fucked up Trish's face.
Yeah, I'm with you that Trish.
Because you brought it up first.
I did. I said Trish looks weird. Her
Yeah.
face does not look the same to me.
Yeah.
It looks kind of off to me. Lady looks fine. She looks
Yeah.
great. But Trish looks kind of weird. I'm like, I never got used to it.
Yeah, I don't like it. Like, she looks completely different from how she used to.
Yeah, she just like, I don't know, looks like longer in the face, I guess.
Yeah.
Looks like a damn horse.
I wouldn't say all that.
No, not that bad. But I don't know. Because
they model these off of real people, so I wouldn't say that.
Oh, shit, you're right. My bad. I apologize. But, like...
No, you don't. No, he thinks you look like a damn horse lady. That's what Carlos
said.
No.
God damn it. All right. Well,
straight out the horse's mouth.
Yeah. No, it just, you agree, though. It looks very
She
weird.
looked a lot older.
Yeah.
It wasn't like that was too bad. It was just like she looked like a completely different person.
Maybe think of, like, the character from, like, Resident Evil. Resident Evil 7, like the old lady in there.
Oh, okay. I don't think it's that bad, but okay.
Think about it. Good point, Nate.
Yeah, but like the game's a lot of fun.
Well, I mean, it's Devil May Cry.
It's return to form.
It's return to form, to be honest, and
I think it's just like the return to form that people wanted.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know who really was like disappointed by the game. Like
I think some people. I was fully expecting, because they added Bloody Palace, but I was fully expecting that like they would add DLC that would let you play as Lady Trish and Virgil.
Yeah, that's true. That's interesting.
Because they usually do that for most of the other Devil May Cry games.
Yeah, they're like they come out with an edition that's like later on, I guess.
Yeah, they added Bloody Palace and they're like, we're done. So I was surprised by that, but
yeah,
I don't know. I can't remember what Isano said he's working on next. I think he said he wanted to do something different next. No, I think he said he wanted to do Dragon's Dogma next. I think that's right.
Damn.
Yeah, because he wanted to bring Dragon's Dogma. Because when it was come time to work on his next project, he either said, I'll either do Devil May Cry or Dragon's Dogma. And he wound up with Devil May Cry 5. So it could be the next thing that he makes is Dragon's Dogma.
Dragon's Dogma. No.
That'll be interesting to see. So my number one game is Katana Zero. So this game is another game kind of like Fate.
The Souls of platformers?
I did say that. It is like the Souls of platformers. I probably oversold it. Yeah. Like, I don't think it's as hard as like... I think if you were going to say Souls of platformers, you'd probably say something like what? Like Super Meat Boy or something like that, I bet.
Oh, shit. Fuck.
But it is very... It is a game where you will probably die a lot. And that ties into the story, which I think is really cool. Like, each time you die, you're not actually dying. Because your character, when he gets to an area, he, like, mentally thinks out, okay, so how am I going to get through? So each time you die, that's him planning out. So, so if I went through this way, oh, I died. Okay, so that won't work. So let me try it this way. So each time you die is him just thinking about how he'll get through that area.
That's really cool.
And then...
When he clears it, right?
Yeah, and then you clear it, and then you progress to the next room or area. This game has god tier soundtrack. It has easily the best music of the year. Like, I listen to this music all the time, and I just like there's I think like the second area in the game. You're in like this. You're infiltrating this dance club, and there's like strobe lights going and stuff, right? And so it has like this really. It has like this like club music that's just like blaring, right? Mm-hmm. And as the strobe lights are going, you have to like go through the strobe lights, and so the guards don't notice you. You have to like blend in with the crowd in between the strobe lights. So you kind of like do like a roll, then blend in with the crowd, and then roll again to get through the strobe lights, and then and you're progressing up because you're trying to get up to the DJ who's like in like this like suspended like room in the air, and you're trying to get up to kill him. And the game, you get to a room and like you see like enemies walking back and forth. Mm-hmm. So like you have to think, how am I gonna get through this? All right, so I'm gonna kick open this door, slash this enemy. Mm-hmm. The next guy is gonna shoot at me, so I'm gonna slow down time and deflect the bullet back at him. Then the third guy in that room, he's gonna try to shoot at me too. So I'm gonna roll. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna pause. Slowing down time. Do a combat roll forward, slow down time again, then jump slash towards him. Like, the game...
Very creative.
The game lets you be as creative as you want to be. And then, like, there's also, like, weapons and objects in the environment that you can, like you can pick up, like a knife and use that to throw at and kill somebody. So, the game presents you with a problem, and you're kind of allowed to use anything in that environment to like freely express how you want to get through it. And the game has surprisingly like really nice heartfelt moments because as you're in between missions, you go back to your apartment.
Yes.
And you're talking with this little girl, and like, who lives in the apartment next to you, and it's like these really nice like touching moments. I guess I'm just a big softie. Probably, most people probably didn't think much of it. I loved it. Like this game like has like the music fits so well with every scene or like every environment I was going through. The presentation, like it has like this really like 8 or 16-bit art style. It's kind like the art style is kind of reminiscent a little bit of like Hotline Miami, if you want to think about it that way. And it's just like it has like these gorgeous background visuals. And it's just like the game is very challenging. At least for me though, it was. Like some people probably might find it easy. For me, it was challenging, and I love the challenge. I was just like, all right, let me take a break. You know what? Let me go back one more. And it was like I kept on going and going, and like the challenging was so addictive and fun. And the game is super short though. It's only like for me, like doing I'd probably take a break after each stage, just because like after dying so many times, I would need a I need a breather. I need like a couple hours or so. But like actually, the game's probably only like 5 hours or so. But it's so much fun.
And how much is it?
It's $15.
And where'd you play it on?
I played it on Switch because that's at the time. I think on Switch and PC is the only way you can play right now. I think there is like a PS4 or an Xbox One version playing.
Maybe. But...
what I know it's playing but I just don't know when it's supposed to come out. But yeah, it's like for $15, this game's a steal.
Ran fine.
What's up?
Ran fine.
Oh, definitely. Issues. I had no issues.
No issues.
Like this game could easily be a $60 game,
and it's still worth it.
It's still definitely worth it. And for $15, I think it's a steal. And it's like since it's on the Switch eShop, it'll probably be on sale at some point.
Sure.
Like,
yeah. No, it is.
It's a definite. Yeah, it's a definite game that's worth buying. I would highly recommend this. This is my favorite game this year.
By far. That's good. That's good. I mean, what you said from music to gameplay. Like the harsh,
Yeah, there's like
moments.
Like every aspect of this game, like I can't find any fault with it.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah. And like they kind of like at the end of the game, they kind of like tease that there is either going to be like more content or like a sequel or something.
Oh, okay, I didn't know about that.
Because like they're like the story is like there's like some reveals and twists at the end. So I'm just like I need to know. I need to know. I need more.
Need that DLC or you need the next one?
Definitely. So, we're down to our last game. What is your number one game of the year, Carlos?
For me, it was fucking Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. And that would be no surprise to... Well, no, it's still a surprise to a certain degree, but I really do love the From Software games.
Yeah. Like, going into the year, this was a surprise because, like we said, we expected Kingdom Hearts to
kind of be up there.
Yeah.
But... And this wasn't necessarily Dark Souls or Bloodborne. Like, it was something different.
Because the game initially started out, it was supposed to be like a Tenchu game, and then they just made it into Sekiro.
Yeah. So, no, it is my favorite game. I can totally understand some gripes with it, just off the bat. Things like,
having to use the, for the arm
Shinigami, for the Shinobi arts, like, you have to, or the prosthetic tools, like, you kind of have to use, like, these, like, there's like a...
The currency.
There's like a currency that you have to use these abilities, and
which feels super limiting.
Yeah, it feels very limiting. Sometimes you don't. You're like, well, I'm just gonna save it for this moment when I really need it, and so then you kind of almost get used to not using them.
Yeah.
And so then you don't use them at all. So then it kind of feels a little useless.
And I remember you telling me that like towards like the end of the game, like there's almost no point in like almost none of the prosthetic tools were worth using.
Yeah, worth really using. Like, the axe was kind of good because it would do a lot of, like, posture damage.
Yeah.
Because that's, like, the big thing in this game is that there's, like, a posture gauge.
Yeah, you have to break their stance
and then you do, like, a death blow.
Yeah.
Which is satisfying as hell, dude.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Just watching the game is satisfying.
Exactly. So, definitely, I would say that. And I guess I could kind of see the people's argument about how it feels... kind of like like a rhythm game, like a dance, like
yeah.
It's just like your main strategy to win, like in the game, really is gonna
Parry
be
and
you're
dodge.
gonna parry the dodge, like you're gonna parry and attack whenever you can.
Yeah.
And I understand that, but because like I knew this was not like this is not Souls and this is not Blood, like this is a different game.
Yeah.
I really still enjoyed it because it still felt like I had to still position myself, like kind of like Souls. I still had to position myself. I still had to get that timing down, that rhythm, and like it still had that crushing difficulty that that Souls games have.
Yeah.
And no matter how hard, like just like other games, like no matter how fucking hard it gets, no matter how many times you get fucking beaten down.
How many times did Ishin kill you?
I remember like the first time you know about the final boss, right?
Yes.
When I fought him the first time, I truly felt I fought him and I thought like in my head I felt there's no way I can beat him.
Yeah.
Like I'm stuck. I'm just not gonna be able to beat this guy.
Yeah.
And I think I took a break for a couple days. Like, I just didn't like. I think I tried it once or twice. And one thing I noticed about myself is, just in general, okay, if I'm at like a boss or a hard thing, and I tried a couple of times, and then I just don't do it. Like I take a break, and then the next time I do it, I just beat it.
Yeah.
Like it really is that simple. So I did that with Ishin. I took a couple of tries. I stopped, and then like a couple of days passed. And then, like, on my third or fourth try, I was able to do it or so, like, around there. It didn't take too long. But that... Dude, just, like, every fucking boss in that game, like, it just felt so... For like, the Guardian Ape, and then, like, when you... I mean, I guess, spoiler, like, you fight him... The Guardian Ape again in, like, the kind of, like, the underworld place. And there's two of them.
Yeah.
And, oh, dude, like, it just gets... And then, like, when you're fighting the Guardian Ape the first time, and then he comes back to life.
Yeah.
Like... Dude, I remember when I first killed him, and I thought, fuck yeah, fuck you, stupid monkey, I am done. And then the fucker comes back up, and I'm like, bro, I don't have anything else to heal.
Yeah.
I have no...
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, dude, there's no fucking way I'm going to be able to beat... Like, that's the other thing. For me, like, I don't really remember how I felt in other Souls games, but Sekiro, there was a lot of times I truly felt like, I don't know how I'm gonna fucking beat this game. Yeah. I don't know how. How the hell am I supposed to win? But then you just kind of persevere and you keep trying and you're gonna get it down. This definitely has like a more traditional story in comparison to other From Software games.
Yeah, because most of the formula for the stories in FromSoft games is kind of like super vague. You have to like look into like the lore and like read stuff to like try to like figure out like all of what's going on. Sekiro is like the most like traditional story.
A little, just like straight
like, it's,
up
like actual cutscenes and characters.
Yeah. So, and I mean, the story's not too like.
Your character actually talks.
Yeah, the character actually talks. So the wolf is cool.
Yeah.
No, there's like really touching moments. Obviously, him and what's his name? Kuro. Yeah, you can get along with him. There's like a Lady Emma, and you kind of learn about her.
Yeah.
Your father, the owl.
Yeah.
Like, or he's not. He like.
He adopted you.
He adopted you.
Yeah.
Ishin, and then there's like
Genichiro.
Cool. Oh my god, bro, Genichiro. Genichiro is like he's the third. Pretty much, he's like usually the third boss. Like the first boss is like the black bull dude. Second boss is the butterfly
Lady Butterfly.
Lady Butterfly. And then Genichiro. Genichiro to me, and I think a lot of people agree with this, is he is the first boss in the game that like he like really makes you think like, oh, this is Sekiro. Like this is what this game's all about. And both when you fight Ishin and when you fight Genichiro, bro, jumping that and like catching the lightning is all like, dude, the amount of fucking pressure. Like if you don't hit that shit, you're pretty much dead.
Dude, speaking of catching lightning, I remember watching the dragon fight on YouTube. That was so satisfying. Seeing throwing the lightning back at the dragon.
Yes.
And like yeah.
Oh my god, bro! Like it just. And then fighting the demon at the, there's like a hidden demon. Oh, dude, I'm just telling you, bro.
Yeah.
Like, finding these bosses, like, it was so fucking stressful, and like, it's kind of one of those games that in a way it'd be kind of nice to stream. Because you're still by yourself. Obviously, the chat that's like enjoying you fucking struggle.
Yeah.
And like just kind of want to blow your brains out. But
I'm not super. I'm not super into like the Souls-esque type games. But I do very much understand like after the amount that you struggled, that satisfying feeling when you finally win.
Bro, when you see that fucking text and you see all the fucking points going to whatever. Oh my god, there is nothing as satisfying. I forgot what the text was in this game.
I don't remember.
Yeah, but when you see the fucking word "bong," and that was the crazy thing about the Guardian thing is like when you kill him, the text comes out and you're like, oh, bro, I'm fucking done, and it's like, and it's like, oh shit. Fighting the monk. I mean, there's just so many bosses. Actually, what else? Oh, even fighting some of the mini bosses are a fucking pain in the ass.
Yeah.
To have a couple like death blows, because death blows are pretty much like your health gauge. Like once you like get to death blow, you kill them there. There's some mini bosses that they are a bitch.
Yeah.
Like straight up a bitch. I don't know. Like there's like just like little side quests, things where like, you have to get like this like fucking like this thing to like summon a fish. And like
dude, I remember that.
And I was struggling with that shit. Like I don't know, there's like a lot of little small things in the game that I don't know, just
flesh out the world.
Flesh out the world exactly. And
so if they make a second one, second Sekiro game, which I assume they will at some point.
Maybe.
I mean, considering the ending of the game.
Yeah, like
depending on which one you get.
Yeah, because the ending that I got, you talk to the girl who would like make the rice for you, like this.
And she like absorbs Koro.
Yeah, like my ending, she pretty much like Koro kind of like sacrifices him to end the what was the name of the ability that he has,
Dragon's Air thing.
Yeah, Dragon's Air thing, and she pretty much has like Koro in her soul or whatever whatever you want to call it, and she's like, do you want to join me? I'm going to like I forgot where she said she was going, like she said someplace crazy, I think,
like Journey to the West 5.
And I was like, oh shit, like this is okay, this is crazy. So
I consider that to be like the true ending of the game.
I think that's what most people do. So
but if there is like a second one, would you want them to adopt like a more Souls-esque like level up and like a
no, because I know that's something that people got mad about, that they couldn't just grind.
Yeah, they couldn't just like over level and.
No, I think like that's kind of
that's its own separate thing.
That's its own separate thing. I kind of want them to maybe try to fix how they do the
prosthetics,
and stuff, and like the shinobi arts, because like the shinobi arts were kind of useful because they're like these techniques that like you would get a scroll, and you spend points there, and those would be useful. Like fucking doing the what was it, like Kazakuri like counter? I don't know what the was.
Makiri counter?
Oh, the Makiri counter. That's the fuck. When you stand on their, oh, that was the other thing. When you were fighting the final boss, and he would like fucking like thrust at you, bang, and dude, like that game. There's so many things in that game to me that like
there's a lot of satisfying
just
moments.
So satisfying. Like when you do something, it's just so fucking satisfying. Getting a death blow is satisfying as hell. Just seeing the text from just everything, like, and that's the other thing. Like with like a lot of From Software games, like when you start out like in the area, you're very stealth. Like you take your time, and you're very nervous. And then like once you've been there, you just start running around, like like, oh, he's right here, he's to my left, he's to my right, blah blah. I'm gonna kill him, boom, bam, and you kind of keep it moving. But I mean, even though I understand it definitely has some flaws to it, I just think that definitely the pros just outweigh the cons. And the music also, it has I even heard it's interesting, like a Donkey Kong country song, but like in like a Sekiro form of it. Like it just has like, you can tell like, oh, this is Sekiro, like the kind of like the winds, like the what do you call it, like flutes and like recorders and oboes and whatnot. Yeah, so kind of like the wind instruments.
Alrighty then.
But yeah.
So that was our top games of the year. So You know what? Let's just like run through these. So, my number 8 was Far Cry New Dawn. My number 7 was Borderlands 3. My number 6 was The Outer Worlds. My number 5 was Fate Extella Link. My number 4 was Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. Number 3 was Kingdom Hearts 3. Number 2 was Fire Emblem Three Houses. And number 1, my game of the year was Katana Zero.
Yeah, and for me, it was number 9 was Far Cry New Dawn. Number 8 was Rage 2. Number 7 was Borderlands 3. Number 6 was Astral Chain. 5 was Days Gone. 4 was Kingdom Hearts 3. 3 was Dragon Quest 11. 2 was DMC 5, and 1 was Sekiro. And I will say, like, if I were to go down the list,
yeah,
Sekiro, if about recommending, like if you were to want to play like the games on our list, Sekiro, yeah. I would say you kind of know if you're gonna play Sekiro. Like if you're a From Software fan,
yeah,
you know you're gonna give it a shot. If you're not,
I think even if you're not a fan of like say Dark Souls,
no, yeah, you can still
Sekiro offers stuff that's different,
so you can give it a shot.
Yeah,
DMC 5 if you're into action adventure or like what's the word for it? Like the kind of like an arcadey like.
They call them character action games.
Character action games like. You know, if you're like interested, like if you've tried like Bayonetta, Astral Chain, whatever, then give it a shot. Dragon Quest, yes, I'd recommend. If you love JRPGs, give it a shot. Kingdom Hearts 3, no, I can't. That's something that you're gonna get into. Like if you're gonna, you kind of have to start from the beginning, or you're gonna like really dump into it.
Yeah.
Days Gone, I'd recommend if you're into open worlds. I'd say give it a shot. Astral Chain, I'd give it a shot. I'd definitely say DMC 5 over Astral Chain.
Definitely.
The other two. But I'd still say give it a shot. Borderlands 3, if you
have somebody to play
with. If you have somebody to play with, and I think they're kind of doing updates that kind of like they added more vending machines and whatnot as when we went to fix.
If you're gonna play Borderlands 3 by yourself, don't even bother.
Bro, there's no way you can play that game by yourself, and you cannot give a shit about the story. You just must have fun with playing some friends and fucking around.
Yeah,
that's the only way you can do that. Rage 2, give it a try. It's a solid shoot or whatever. Just go explore around. And there's no fucking way I'm recommending Far Cry New Dawn.
Yeah,
that game's ass.
Same for me. I wouldn't recommend Far Cry New Dawn. Borderlands 3, like we said, if you have somebody to play with. Outer Worlds, I'd recommend it probably anybody. Especially it's like even though it is like an open worldish RPG, it's not too long. You can get to that game super fast depending on how you play. Mm-hmm. Like even if you wanna, you can get to that game in like 4 hours, or you can get to that game in like 20 or 30 hours. I try to do it. I try to do everything, so it took me like 20, 30 hours, but you can get through it way faster than that. Fate Extella Link, I don't recommend it to anybody unless you're a Fate fan.
Sure.
Bloodstained, I recommend it to anybody who likes Metroidvanias or wants to try one out.
It's a good starting point.
It's a good start. Yeah, definitely. It's not too hard or anything. It's challenging, but like it's not like,
crazy like some of the other ones.
Yeah.
Not playing no Rondo of Blood.
Yeah. Kingdom Hearts 3, I wouldn't recommend unless you're a Kingdom Hearts fan. Unless like your type, like there are some people who play Kingdom Hearts games just because they want to go to the Disney Worlds. I understand that too.
Yes.
Fire Emblem, I recommend to anybody, even if you don't like strategy games. 'Cause I think Fire Emblem is really great. Like it's not too intimidating. It's not like like Warhammer, like something super overly like really in depth.
It's a nice game to try it out to start out at a starting point.
Yeah, if you're interested in strategy games, I think Three Houses is a great game to play. A Katana Zero, I recommend, and also just really implore people to play because it's a small developer.
Super underrated.
Super underrated. It's only $15. I really highly recommend people play Katana Zero. So I was gonna bring up a list of games that you beat in 2019, like of older games.
Oh, older games, yeah.
Yeah. So is there anything that comes off the top of your head that you beat? That was like an older game. While you're thinking about it.
Uh-huh.
So for me, a couple of games I played this year that didn't come out in 2019, but I still think are worth mentioning, get a shout out to. So Wolf Among Us, I played just recently, about a week or two ago, and that is exceptional. It's only it was like I can't remember how much it was. I bought the physical version. It's exceptional. Like, it has a really cool story. It does a lot of things that other Telltale games don't do. I was like, man, they should have made a Wolf Among Us season 2. Like, or add like it's strange to me how the things that
are implemented
in Wolf Among Us aren't in the rest of their games. Like, 'cause I really think Wolf Among Us is like an improvement over like a lot of what they do in some of their other games. So I was like, I think
it's almost like they remove stuff.
Yeah, I think that could have like affected what happened to that studio, to Telltale. But it's a really great story. I played it after they announced Wolf Among Us Season 2 at the Game Awards. Really easy to get through, as all Telltale games are. You can get through it in like a day or two. And I also really got into BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle this year. I'm not a super huge fighting game. I enjoy watching them, like Evo and all of that. But BlazBlue is the first game. Well, that and Central Fiction are the ones that really got me into, like, really considering playing and getting better at fighting games. And Cross Tag Battle, I was just like, it's degenerate, but it's a lot of fun. Yes. Like, there's like really dumb combos and stuff you can do, but like playing as Ragna and then like comboing into like something with like
Akatsuki.
you or like Akatsuki is so much fun.
Hey, nothing wrong with that.
Have you thought of one?
Man, honestly, not really. I'm kind of blanked in my head.
I know that you've been really getting to Mass Effect.
Yeah.
You're on Mass Effect 3. You played through 1.
Did I play?
I think you.
I don't know which ones did I play the last year though.
I think you played through 2.
Okay, I played 2. I'm really getting into 3 right now. That's what I guess I wouldn't have finished it last year. Like, I'm finishing it this year. I'm currently playing it right now.
Yeah.
And I keep saying this. Like, I feel like, and I'm sure there's other games who've done this, but like, Mass Effect to me feels like it was like the only series pre-Witcher that felt like you made decisions and like there was actually consequences, and you like it mattered, like what you said, like it mattered what you, like, as Commander Shepard, like what you did.
Yeah.
And there was like actually shit was gonna go down by it.
Yeah.
And that was something at the time when I played Witcher 3 back in the day. 2015.
2015.
So a while ago, 4 years ago, that I didn't
appreciate
at the time, because at the time I was just like, I only care mostly about gameplay, and even that I still do to this day. But I can still have a better appreciation. And like, you are always like, dude, but if you do this side quest, dude, and you do this consequence and this consequence, whatever, I don't know, I'll just keep playing. And that's something like I'm appreciating as I'm playing Mass Effect, because as I'm playing 1, 2, and 3, like I'm like shit that I did in like the second game or the first, like it's coming up and it's like, oh dude, you did this, so this is what's gonna fucking go down.
Yeah.
And the Paragon, or like the being good and evil thing.
Oh, the Paragon Renegade.
Yes, that actually, has like it does matter, and like you like doing the effort of like being good or bad really does matter, because I actually got to a part of the game where the Quarians and the Geth.
Yeah.
Like they're the ones like in this war, and pretty much if you don't like meet all these fucking requirements that somehow I just did, I really just naturally did.
Don't all the Quarians get killed?
They either all the Quarians get killed if you save the Geth and you let Legion like reset all of them.
Yeah.
And get the Reaper code in them, or you stop Legion from uploading the Reaper code and you destroy the Geth.
Yeah.
And like Legion literally hits you with this line that fucking hits. He's like, the creators were, because he calls them the Reapers. The Reapers called the Quarians the creators, and he's like,
I mean the Geth called the Quarians.
Exactly. And they're like, the creators were the ones who attacked us. Do we really deserve to die? And like, dude, that line fucking hits.
Yeah.
Like, you're just like, and you literally just hit with the yes or no, and you're like, well, fuck, like, but I don't want Tally to die. You're just like, well, shit, like, okay.
So if you So if you say like yes, they do deserve to die. Does Legion
okay?
and the Geth die?
So this will happen. So like and like this is where like the game fucking hits you. Like it all it says is yes or no, and you're like, I put no. You don't deserve to die, and then like he's like, all right then, I don't deserve to die, and he starts uploading the code, and then Talia's like, stop, like you're gonna fucking kill everybody in my race.
Yeah.
And then like another thing comes up, and then that's when it's like, if you have the fucking points and and all the requirements, then you can save both people.
Yeah.
And like the requirements were like, I had to have saved Talia in the fucking final mission in the previous game.
Yeah.
I couldn't have used like evidence when I like there's a part in the second game where
she's on
trial, and you can't like use a certain evidence against her or in the trial.
Yeah.
So I couldn't have used that. You had to been trust Legion in like in a certain mission in the previous game and in this game.
Yeah.
And I had to have like enough points of like Paragon to be there, and it's like I had to have all the requirements, and it's like, then yes, you can use this option. And it's like, it felt satisfying. That was like, my commander had to have like done all these things to have earned the right to be like. Then he tells the corner, stand down. If you don't stop, Legion is like uploading the Reaper code, and he will the Geth will destroy all of you.
Yeah.
And then the Admiral's like, shit. All right, then I'm standing down. And they're like, and you're just like, fuck, like all right. And then Legion, because what you notice, what happened is like when he uploads the Reaper code, he sacrifices himself, so he dies, so that all the Geth can like become like real, like true AI.
Oh, okay.
And you're just like, and like it just like shows like the sunset, and his body just like fucking hits the floor, and you're just like, damn, bro, like it just hit. And like it was kind of those things where I've told you multiple times that I kind of want to play Witcher 3 again to kind of really appreciate those moments, because that was something that I definitely know that I didn't appreciate as much. And Witcher 3 already has the DLC stuff to go through.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, I'm really enjoying Mass Effect 3. At the point where I am right now, I know that there's, like, the history about how the game ends that people don't like. But at the point where I'm at the game right now, I'm really liking it a lot.
All right. So that brings us to the conclusion of our 2019 Game of the Year discussion. Stay around, subscribe to the channel, like the video. Pretty soon, probably next week, we're going to be coming out with our games of the decade, 2010 to 2019. Games of the decade, our top 10 list. My top 10 and Carlos's top 10.
And then we should be, like, starting to, like, consistently do the podcast
after
again.
that, we plan on about every other week putting out an actual podcast covering the news and stuff. So keep posted for that, and we'll see you next time.